All right, here we are.
You on?
Yeah, we are. You're gonna have to duck down a second. There you go. We're gonna have to move this up.
We're setting up our system, guys. Welcome to the Run Experience live stream of the New York City Marathon. We are set up right at between mile 22 and 23.
Oh, we're gonna have to move this up a little bit.
Is it a little low?
Yeah. Hold
We're
on.
getting our system set up, but we want to get things started because the pro women should be coming through. We think they just went through mile 22, so we should be seeing them.
Can you move this piece of paper?
Within a few minutes.
There you go.
That better?
There you go.
All right. Can you see comments from up there?
Yeah. Looking for Seth Demore. All right.
Yeah,
We got the first names coming in.
Um,
What we need is people's numbers, and then we can track
we'll get
them.
numbers and track it, but we're gonna see just down the way.
Hey, Jeff's here. All right.
Motorcycles coming down the way, and those should be the leading women.
Esther Edar. Okay, Lolo says hi from. David says hi from London. How's it going? We have 360 people in here already. Seth Bibb is 1,008. Seth Demore. Oh yeah, multiple people.
You guys can track as well and feed us information.
Yeah.
Here on the
What we need is we need to know what they look like.
yeah.
We are between mile 22 and 23. If you look at the map, we are just past Duke Ellington Circle, and at 109th. That's the street you can see up there is 109th.
Right. It's getting louder. We can tell the runners are starting to come. It's really fun to watch this race. Right?
Yeah.
There's just so much energy. Behind us, guys, is just beautiful Central Park. The leaves are changing. It is like
a perfect fall day.
Fall running day. A little cold for us spectators, but really perfect temperature.
And
for
here
those
comes the caravan before the professional women. All right. Bay Tate, hello from North Carolina. Bay, I'm going to be heading to North Carolina in about 4 or 5 hours.
That's right. So here we go, guys. Here's the quick countdown. It's coming down again. Live stream is brought to you by the Run Experience. We have an incredible app you can download for tips and workouts, even a GPS tracker. And you want to check that out by hitting the description, and you'll find a link right there. Here we go. Here are
Hi, Seth. Shamir Dasgupta. All right, we're at 2:03:36 is the official time. Here's a... Holy cow, she is killing it. All right. Wow, that's close.
The one trailing, she was last year's winner. She won in dominant fashion. As Mario was Friday, she dropped a 66-minute half marathon in the second half of the race and just blew the competition out of the water. Right now, it looks like she's got...
Eric, you're welcome. Tomaso, hello from London. Rachel, the women did start before the others. I believe they started at 9:10. The men started at... Yeah.
Which is great because we really get to see the women's race before the elite men come through. Uphill rise all the way down Fifth Ave. And Craig, you've raced this before, right? Tell us what it's like to run at this part of the course.
I'll come out here. I'm attached to it. Hold on 1 second. I don't think we need this anymore.
Because it is tough, right? Your miles 22 in. Yeah, this is a long straightaway.
This is where it really starts to hurt. You've just gone up into the come across the bridge, and the hard part with this race is that they're kind of like rolling, undulating hills, very slight, but very close. And the race actually ends in an incline, which is pretty cool. We were actually rolling the course just recently here, and we're grabbing the leg.
There we go.
All right.
So
We got 2 more women coming in.
props to the biker. Can't hear guys on the 3. I think your mic isn't on. You guys should be able to hear us okay. Let us know.
Let us know if you can't hear us, we'll adjust the volume.
Totally. We got more runners coming through. Guys, there are 670 of you on here. Is the mic not on? Can you guys not hear us?
1 second.
There we go. Here we go. It says, someone says sounds good. All right, we hear you. Here we go, Des. Here we go. Woo!
Wow, that's a great race.
So Des is in 4th place. We can now. Okay, here you find. So Des just went by in 4th place. She's looking good. Guys, if you love it, here we go. We got more women coming out. This looks like diver. Do. Kellen Taylor is just doing great. Go, Kellen! Woo!
These guys are all in it. I mean, every single one of them these guys are in competition for 4th place. I mean, it is
Kellen is incredible. Here we go. Look, this looks like it might be Sarah Hall. Nope. Ashley, there we go. We haven't seen Sarah Hall go by yet. Guys, 730 of you on here. Very, very cool. If you like that we're out here, guys, and we want to support this live stream, make sure you hit that like button that lets other runners find our channel and find these videos.
That's right.
So we really appreciate that. We got a long way to go, guys. I think the last time we did this live stream, we got up to 1,000 likes, and I think we can do that again.
Oh, there we go.
I know that's a game that Craig likes to play.
We were out here freezing our butts off for you. And if you guys are runners yourselves,
Oh, Interesting says they can hear me well, but they can't hear you very well.
Interesting. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fix that.
So we're gonna try something here, guys. We're playing with some multi-microphone setups. He said we can't hear Craig very well. Sarah and Allie dropped out. Oh, that's a bummer.
How's this going?
Yeah, the hand mic was turned off. That should be turned on now.
All right, let's see if, oh, we're peaking a little bit too high now. All right, let's see. This might quiet everything else down. All right, let's go, ladies. She's tucking right in there. Let's see.
Yeah. So, fun fact about Alifane, who just went right by, she makes her own beanies, and you can buy one for $25. And so she's rocking it as she goes down. Really exciting to see. American women are doing pretty well. We have Des in 4th. I don't know. There's a little bit of a gap for 3rd.
I'll start to. All right, so I'm guessing you guys can't hear me, right?
Yeah, they can't hear you.
So we're gonna have to go. That's all right.
So we haven't seen Molly Huddle yet. I don't think we've seen her go by. Let's see who this is.
Apparently Sarah Hall did drop out.
Yeah, apparently Kiefer Alley and Sarah Hall have dropped out. That's unfortunate. We don't know why. Go, go, go! Woo! Notice. Here we go. We got another woman coming by here.
Looking for the shoe prototypes, Asics and New Balance.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Groner. Go, Groner, go. Looking good. I love the fun sunglasses. That's always good, right?
BZ says you should share a microphone.
I know, right?
Deborah says hi from Asheville, North Carolina. Can't believe Desi is in 4th. I know, right? The men are at 30K. That means that they're going to be here in about 20 minutes or so.
I think so. Yeah, I think it should be about 20 minutes for them.
At Rachel, thank you. How do you get my handle in that lovely orange box?
I'm speechless. Is this our lovely hats or our little very exclusive microphones? There we go. I'm out in this shot a little bit more. So guys, we've seen, if you're just tuning in, we are live streaming from mile 22 and a half, right at the top of Central Park. They have run through all of the boroughs at this point. Manhattan is the last one, and they have this really long straightaway. And sometimes really long roads are tough mentally because it's just forever in the distance.
It doesn't feel like you're moving at all. This is especially this part, right? You got a long shot all the way down the park before. Once you get in the park, now you're feeling like, okay, the race is coming to a close, but
But the crowd is coming out, and Central Park is absolutely beautiful. Once you get here, you know that you're finishing in Central Park. You see Central Park on your right. It is the last stretch of the race, but you do have this long, steady grinding uphill thing, which doesn't look like much of a hill if you're just, going for a run. But at mile 22, when you've been pushing it, any little change really hits the legs hard.
The orange box. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Here we go.
So Pam, the orange box around your name is a super chat, and I think if you send us like a tip, then it calls out exactly what your comment is, and we're happy to take tips, of course, and we'll definitely look for your runners if you do that.
Yeah, we always love the support. It'll get us some coffee later to warm up. And keep the comments and questions coming, guys. We're going to be out here for the next couple hours for you, making sure that you can enjoy this race and really experience it like it would be to be spectating this thing right from the side of the course.
Yeah, I mean, we've been out here all weekend. We actually, Pam said, does anybody know the men in the lead? I will look that up for you right now. I was looking it up. Actually, can you hold on? Just got to open up our second phone. We got quite the experience.
Here we go. Top men, as of right now that we can see, it looks like Jeffrey Kimore went through in first place. He's just at 20 miles. Here we go. Looks like Jeffrey Kimore went through mile 20 1 minute ago. He was in first, and it looks like he's in a little bit of a group. He's also with Gurma Bekele Geber, same thing, 20 miles at 11:21. There's a few of them. Albert Corrier is right there at the 20-mile mark. Tamarat Tola, same thing. Shura Katada, same thing as well. So I'm getting the top 5. They all look to be in a group. I want to see further down. I want to see where the top American men are.
Yeah, guys, it is pretty cold here. I would say it's in the high 40s, low 50s, but we can look it up. Esoteric Pig, that's right. We're trying to hit 1,000 likes. I can't see how many we have right now.
So, in terms of updates on the top men, Jared Ward and Abdiraham went through 20 miles a minute off the pace at 11:52. So they are in 6th and 7th place respectively, which on a hard charging field is great. But anything can happen in these finals miles. A minute could be a big gap, but if you start having a bad day and slowing down, it can be really, really tough.
So Rachel says, you mentioned that you grew up outside of Boston, Nate. Is it a secret, or can you tell us which high school you went to and ran for?
I ran for Lawrence Academy in Groton, Massachusetts, and it was fun. I was just messaging with my some old runner teammates the other day. Definitely reminds me of cross-country running weather, being out here, the leaves changing, a lot of New England trails. So it's always fun to come back. And actually, I was just visiting my folks, and I get to run on like the very first roads I ever ran on, like where I learned to ride a bike as a kid.
This is gray. I gotta look up the. Do you have your phone?
I do.
Hold on. Set's pace is on for 2:21 currently. Nice. Let me see. I can start tracking.
Yeah, well, we want to see Seth come through. I know he seems to be having a great race. And, we do a lot of the video stuff, Craig, and that guy does it too, and he trains his butt off. And is really fast. Like, that is – I just know the weekend we've had and how I'm going to look forward to sleeping, especially after this broadcast. But that guy is really doing it all. So cheers to Seth and everyone who supports Seth. Definitely check out his channel. He does a great job.
We are looking like a slightly slower race today. Like the predicted finish is around 2:09, 2:10. And the course record, of course, is 2:05. That's a long time ago. Who has the course record here?
So usually when we see those slower paces, it means it's more of a tactical race. Sometimes when you get a more competitive crowd of runners, when everyone's closer, no one wants to lead from the front and do all the work and drag all the other runners along. So they're all running and kind of biding their time. And usually miles 18, 19, 20 is when you start to see athletes start to try to make some separations. And they do that last late mile push, which is looking like what is starting to happen. We saw the women still pretty tight with the top three within, a minute or less of each other. Des Linden came by in fourth. She was probably maybe a minute or two down from there. So I'm not sure Des can overtake for a win, but she might be able to crawl her way back to third.
Appreciate that, Stephanie. We love hosting these. We had one of our coaches at the Chicago Marathon. Nate and I always come out to New York, and we were also at London this year, and at Boston, actually.
Yeah, and we are getting a little more organized as we go here. Our little fun handheld mic. I'm not having to hold the phone, which is kind of a nice thing. Here we go. Watching these wheelchair guys is always really incredible. Especially today's a little windy.
And guys, we always have a community going on our mobile app. There's a link down in the description. If you haven't downloaded our mobile app, it's free to download. There's a link down below, and we will continue the discussion. You can post your race results, your own races, your own workouts. We got a lot of stuff in there, so check it out.
Yeah, for those of you guys who did our Run Cadence Challenge earlier in the year, that program is loaded up and is free. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of things that we care about in terms of making you a better, stronger, healthier runner. We put into workouts and programs in that app. So this is going to be probably the biggest lull in the action all day, kind of the gap between the women coming through and before we start to see the men. And after that, it should really start to be a steady trickle until it just becomes a mob. So remember this empty street right now because, 30 minutes from now, it is going to be packed, from one side of the street to the other with runners. I can start to see another woman come through. And what's interesting, Craig, is when you really get to know runners, even at the elite level, everyone has their own signature. Their run form, it's almost like a thumbprint. They always have some little different movement of the shoulders. This woman, you can see, she kind of kicks that leg out a little bit. Her arms swing side to side a little bit. Woo, looking good. So this woman's looking pretty steady, but you can tell maybe she went out a little harder earlier and is having to consolidate her speed and slow down a fraction. But that sometimes happens in these races.
Yeah, actually, wow, who's this? Prison. So unfortunately, the app only is showing us the top 5 women, so we can't track the 15 through 20. But if you guys who are near a computer want to pipe in, please do.
You can pull up top American women, Craig. That's another option, so you can go check that out.
Ben, you're correct. We are at mile 22.5. If you look on the map, we're at that street that you can see is 109th Street.
Yeah, anyone who's watching in New York who wants to come and hang and cheer on with us, we would love some company. We're on 5th Ave, between 108 and 109th Street, hanging out. This is really such a great shot, right? Because you have this nice long view in both directions. I can look the runners going up Central Park, up 5th Ave, that steep climb. I can see them coming from Duke Ellington Circle on the other side, the other way. I can hear some drummers back there, so they probably just went through an aid station.
All right. So, guys, for some of you who have been on here and been commenting a lot, if you want to be a moderator and help us moderate some of the comments, I would appreciate it. Just pipe in here if you're going to be on for a while and would like to do that with us.
How many we got watching right now, Craig?
We're just about to cross 1,000. Oh, we just crossed 1,000.
All right. It's so fun having you guys all chime in and watch this race. So cool. All right, so we got another woman coming down. She's coming down right by the camera, I can tell. She's kind of hugging the right side of the road. Running on...
Thank you. Just Just made you a moderator.
You know, this road has a slight crown to it, so it's always interesting to me to see where runners choose to run. If they drift towards the right side where all of a sudden it's just like a little off camber, or if they're running right down the middle where it's the straightest section. Sometimes if they're, you know, I can see she's already drifting out towards the middle just a little bit.
We got some more professional women coming through. All right. I shouldn't yell into the mic. Sorry, guys.
Now, we're seeing a lot of grim faces here. This is really where you have to mentally be super firm.
Linion's back to 6th place and Taylor's in 7th.
Nice job. You know, we really love live streaming from this point of the race because we've gone past the mile 20 mark. That's usually one of the furthest distances most runners will attempt while they're racing. Go Perkins. And these last couple miles is really the unknown. They don't know how their body will respond till they get here. And this is what makes the marathon such a magical, incredible thing. It's so much about your mind's willingness to endure just incredible levels of pain before you get out here and just willing the body to continue. Just for we can get a sense, how many of you watching right now have done a marathon before or want to do a marathon? You know, drop that in the comments. We'd love to see that.
All right. Yeah, so I just made a couple people moderators. Is support pacing 1 mile acceptable? I don't know that you're allowed to jump in and pace anybody at this point in the race. I mean, as you can see, this year they actually have us all roped off. In previous years, we'd be spilling out on the streets, and then the policemen would have to like beat us back. It's actually really good that they're doing this because it helps the runners focus on the race and not dodging fans.
So, okay, it looks like we've got more police coming through. These will be the top men. 55-14. So the top men, it looks like they're starting to come through right now, and it looks like we have a little pack. Craig, you hear that? Here we go. We can start to see the police. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we've
Tamaratola, Bekele, and Alba Career. The whole Kenyan crowd is in here. All right, guys. Wow, it's a tight pack. Can you see how tightly they're running? Everybody here is in contention. All right. They are killing it. That is going to be one tight finish.
It's always really exciting when we see this many contenders together because really anything can happen. It's too far away for anyone to really try to make a move, so we're going to see how long they'll stay together as a group before one of them tries to split.
Come in here.
Kitata is just off the pace. Guys, this is so hard. Any little lift of the pace. Now, this looks like it's Jared Ward. Our first American is coming up, and he's really not that far back. He is really in the mix here. Go, Jared, go. Jared is looking really strong. He looks great. He has a chance to catch some of these guys as they spit off the back.
Just look at some of these guys go. Look at their form, and you'll notice like how much, even late in the race, they all have a forward lean. They are like just beautiful form. They're so late in the race. Really impressive to watch these pro men.
These guys really train, and it's one of the reasons why we emphasize that so much, because it's easier to run better when you're fresh and feeling good. But what do you look like after that mile 20 mark? And that's what these guys push so hard for. Can the mechanics of their last mile be as good as their first? It's really exciting to see Jared Ward up there. Like, this is late in the race. American mixing it up with some of the best racers out there, and he's just off that front group, maybe by 30 seconds.
Right.
So we're going to start to see more elite men come through, and then we're going to start to see the amateurs. So look for the bib numbers that don't have a name, because those are going to be the non-elites. Those are going to be some of the amateurs.
Orlando says he's going to run it next year. Fantastic.
Excited. Yeah, who here has run New York City? Who wants to run New York? It's such a cool race.
See the pro women.
Here we go. This guy's looking great. Quick, McMillan. Relaxed shoulders. Bridget Kozgai won. So it looks like she repeated. Congratulations to her. We got a Nike athlete coming through. Now, we can tell when athletes get tired, their shoulders get stiff, we can start to see his arms really swing more side to side as opposed to forward and back. The pink Nike Next Percent shoes as well.
Yeah, the pink Nike shoes are on every single runner here. Here we see another one down here. People have been complaining about whether, is pro running becoming an arms race versus a foot race. It's really, there have always been improvements in shoes, if you ask my opinion, but definitely you can see there's a new trend going on where everybody has these Vaporflies on. All right.
Robinson coming through. Looks like he's one of those athletes. A lot of these athletes, they really come here not to just finish. They really come here to race. So I'm willing to bet a bunch of these guys tried to stay in that pack as long as they could, and now we're just sort of popping off a little bit off the back here.
And as we heard Mario say, this is a racer's race. There's no rabbits in here. There's no pacers. Like this at this level, these guys are here to race.
Yeah, New York it's just like the city. It is gritty. It is competitive. It is just a really neat place to watch runners come through.
And it's not the fastest course either. I mean, compare this to Berlin or even to London. This is not the fastest course. It's great weather today. You never know what's going to happen in the fall, this late in the fall in this part of the country. But I really love watching the form of these guys coming through.
Yeah, some of these guys are looking pretty smooth as they come through. As you said, some people, their faces are looking a little more grim. You can kind of tell very quickly who has done a good job of pacing and fueling.
Someone's got the older Vaporflies on, whether they're the newest versions or the pink ones, and I think the one we've been using over the last bit are the orange ones.
All right, you found us.
Yeah.
Want to say hi to the crowd?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, come on over here.
Where's the camera? Oh.
Right over here.
Hey, everybody.
Is she racing?
She is. Yeah. She's doing quite okay. Her target's 3:15, and as of right now, she's at a 3:14.28.
That's awesome.
Right around that time,
So, one of our TRE community is out there, and Jacqueline Muling. She is targeting a 3:15, and you're saying she's on pace?
She's definitely on pace for now. Let's hope it stays that way.
All right, fantastic. Have you met Craig before? You didn't get to meet Craig in Boston.
No, I have not.
No. Can you give me your name? Philip. Okay, cool.
Here we go, more men. Lou Serafini's coming through, looking strong. He's got the throwback hair. Lou is.
That was a good race for Des, though. Des has been. They say this might be her last marathon, right? She went out with I'm sure she's happy with that.
Always a hard, tough race. It's close. That guy Lou Serafini works with Tracksmith. He is just a few years out of college now, and he was one of the American men in college to go under 4-minute mile pace, which is always kind of fun to see. So we got a little gap in the race here, but as I said, we'll start to see more of the sub-elites come through. We're going to be looking out for our boy Mario. He's on pace for probably a low 2:30 marathon if he's having a good day. Now, fun fact, Mario set at the ripe old age of 37, ran his fastest marathon ever last year at CIM in 2:27:30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. So he's hoping to still go around 2:30, right? We should see him come by in about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, let me look him up.
We'll see how Mario's doing. We're going to see how if we can watch Mr. Seth James Damore come through as well. What do we got going on in the comments there, Mr. Craig?
Let's see. We have some people calling out for Seth. Seth surpassing 200 meters.
All right.
What's his last name?
Damore.
Damore, there you go.
Seth James Damore. So we're doing
Mario's number, or what's his last name again?
Fraioli. Kind of like aioli, but with an FR in front of it. That's how I remember. Philip's laughing at that one. So more runners coming down the track. As if you're just joining us, welcome to the live stream. We started just minutes before the elite women came through at New York. The women started first, about half an hour ahead of the elite men. We've seen the women go through. Just to catch you up, it looks like Bridget Kosgei, the winner of last year, repeated. But last year she did it in dominant fashion. This year was a much tighter race all the way around. Des Linden was our top American female in 6th place. For the men, here we go. McCandless looking good. McCandless, another one of our top American men, cruising down the way. That is a long, lonely road to run on right now. My goodness. But for the men, we saw a tight group of 4 men steaming down the road, absolutely flying. And it's really anyone's race at this point. So I imagine down the way, fireworks are going off as they get closer to that finish line.
Okay, so Mario's about
More people coming down the way as we go here.
2 miles away.
Mario looks to be about 2 miles away. What's going on in the comment world?
Go Seth's. Everybody's looking for Seth. Wait, did he come by already?
No, I don't think we've seen him.
Let's see. Are there aid stations at each mile marker? Not at each mile marker, but there are frequent aid stations.
When you're in a triathlon and an Ironman, the marathon, they'll usually have aid stations every mile, but for a standalone marathon, aid stations are usually roughly every 5K.
Remind me Seth's last name again? Demore, right. All right.
Still seeing a lot of the elite and sub-elite field come through. Different guy, this guy looking pretty strong as he goes. Still got some wheelchairs coming through as well. Looks like this guy's having trouble going with both arms. He's just doing one at a time. Now this is a tough uphill road for these wheelchair athletes. Here we go, more men coming through. Now we're just starting to see numbers. So this becomes the first of our sub-elite men coming through. Here we go, another guy looking strong. You know what I love? Some of these runners are pretty tall and they look pretty muscular, you know? They're not.
Actually noticing that too. I mean, you look at some of the elite women especially are always really slight. Yeah, we're seeing some of the sub-elite men come in. They're probably looking at.
Who knew strength training is back in?
160 pounds. Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, that is heavy. I mean, compared to some of these super elite runners that are probably 140 pounds or less, soaking wet. Yeah, where you been? Where you been, Craig?
They just keep saying Seth. I didn't know who it was.
Here we go. More wheelchair athletes. Wow, this isn't a wheelchair athlete. This guy is on a skateboard, and he's a W amputee, and he is pushing himself with hockey gloves. That is about as hardcore New England. Go, Seth, go! Woo! Seth just went right by. He's looking pretty strong. There we go. He is cruising. Seth James Demore fans, your guy just cruised right by. Looking pretty steady, definitely focused. Probably a little bit of pain, but we'll have to send him that clip. At this point of the race, one of the dangers of being so fast is that you're out ahead of the crowd and you just have no one to pace with. So you're just running totally alone out here. Lonely, lonely race. And actually, sometimes American women, they like races like Chicago that start with one mass start because they're not out there alone. They actually get to pace. The top women get to pace off some of the men going through, and they feel like they can get pulled along. Just the energy of running with other people is such a valuable thing.
Mario was coming in like clockwork. He's 5:51 a mile for the first half of the marathon, just perfectly on pace. Fell off a little bit at 25K, but is back on it.
That's great. Does it give a split for his half marathon?
His half marathon was 1:16.
Okay, so Mario, our boy Mario, came through 1:16. If you guys haven't watched Mario and I's video from Friday, we break down some of the race, talk about the elite men and women coming through, and you can see if our predictions actually came through.
NYPD too.
We should try to get one of those guys over here. We'll see if they'll bite. Looking strong, more of these athletes, some of these fastest athletes. And what's amazing about some of these runners is that they are the non-professional runners, but they're running almost as fast. And that means that they're supporting themselves. They don't necessarily have sponsors. Maybe they get a free pair of shoes, but a lot of these athletes are paying $275 for their Nike Vaporfly shoes.
That is incredible. Yeah.
And do you know how many miles they can get on those shoes?
It's like 100 miles or something crazy, 200 miles. It's something crazy low.
It's not a lot. You can train like 2 races exactly. Exactly. I think you crossed the finish line and they just like turned to powder.
Just past us actually, Tim. You can probably go back and find him.
Oh. So we're standing in the shadow, but I'm getting this like reflected sunlight off a building, and I actually feel kind of warm.
Rachel, yeah, Mario was chatting with us on Friday, or was it Friday or Saturday? Friday. Yeah, talking about where the men and women's pro race was going to go.
So here we go. Here we start to see these men start to stack up a little bit. And guys, it doesn't seem like you get much drafting or much help, but I can't communicate how important that energy is of just running tightly with another group of runners, because you don't have to do as much mental work. All you have to do to stay focused is just stay connected. There's like this invisible rubber band, and if you can just stay within that zone, you'll just feel like you're just getting pulled along by the rest of the runners. And at this late stage in the race, it makes such a difference.
If any of you watched the Elliot Kipchoge 2-hour challenge, the Ineos challenge a couple weeks ago, you'll notice that they had a specific type of like reverse V that they found, which is really interesting. I mean, we've never seen that as being the most efficient. Most people think of it as the other way around and having a kind of convex V, but they say it's going to start to change how these elite races are paced.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of the Mighty Ducks. Although I can't remember, they did the flying V. I can't remember which direction they went.
Yeah, no, it was the other way around. It was the other way around.
Normal V. Yeah. I wonder if they did the reverse, they would have been even more successful. Here we go. More runners are starting to stream through. Now, earlier Craig mentioned that at races like Boston and New York, it really is a racer's race. There aren't pacers allowed. And someone asked earlier if, like, hey, is it illegal for someone to come in and pace for a mile? I think for the elites, it's definitely a no-no. But if you're like one of us and one of your buddy comes in and runs a few miles with you, I'm sure that's really not a problem at all. My very first marathon, I got to run in Boston as a charity in college. And from Boston College onwards, the final 6 miles of the race, I had a slightly inebriated buddy run me in for the final 6. I had more guys trying to run in front of me, but they probably started drinking beer when I started running, and they were getting in the way. So I was like, guys, get out of here. Marathon Monday is a special time in Boston, guys, if you haven't had a chance to experience it. Here we go.
Just won in 2:08:14. Wow.
Who won? Kim Moore. So Jeffrey Kim Moore won in 2:08:14. You're hearing that from us.
All right. Kipchoge was there to give him a hug. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, we saw Kipchoge race in London this year, which is pretty special. Look at these. These sub-elite men are super, super impressive. And these guys are all going under 230 over here, or just about.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're running that fast, but all of these athletes right now are running sub 6 minute miles, if not a little bit faster. We haven't seen Mario go by yet. He was running at that sub 6 pace last time we saw him. But these guys are just absolutely cruising. And a key thing to look for if you're curious to see how athletes are doing is you watch their shoulders and their head, regardless of their pace. If they are controlled and kind of master their own fate, their shoulders are relaxed, their arm swing is smooth, and their head is pretty steady. But as soon as you start to see those shoulders bunch up in the ears, that arm swing moves side to side, or that head moves side to side, you can start to tell that those athletes are starting to feel it a little bit and are getting a little bit of trouble.
You can also see the different styles. Look at the people's cadences, and you'll notice some people have a much quicker cadence than others. Stylistically, you know, there's always a difference. People say that you have to be at a certain X, Y, or Z, but you know, even at a pretty elite level, we have to see a lot of differences here.
Yeah, you really are. You're starting to see some people really start to suffer. Some people push a little bit more. We're starting to see these little groups of runners come in. Believe it or not, there's a little bit of swirling wind around. I wouldn't necessarily say a headwind, but it feels that way sometimes.
Yeah, we got starting to see bunches of runners. These guys have been running together for the last 2 hours. Everybody here should be just at or above 230, which is super, super impressive.
Yeah, really, really incredible stuff watching these guys come through. Guys, if you're just joining this, hit that like button if you like us freezing our butts off out here on 5th Ave.
At 210.
So just in, so Jared Ward finished in 6th place at 210. That's just a little bit off of his PR, I think, of 209 and change, but that is a really fantastic race for Jared Ward, who is an up-and-coming American male marathoner and a really good indicator of his position among the American men going into Atlanta in February, which is the Olympic Marathon Trials. For those of you guys who just don't know or maybe forgot, next year is an Olympic year, so all of these runners are using this race not only to compete and see where they're at, but also to position themselves amongst their countrymen to see who is going to have the ultimate honor of representing their country in Tokyo next summer. What do we got for comments here, Craig?
All right, so we got Mario coming here down the stretch right here. We should be able to see him now.
Let's get a little photo or video of Mario. Let's get a little photo or video of Mario here.
Let's see, I can't see him yet.
So, we should hopefully see Mario starting to come down the way. Mario, he's usually got a pretty compact stride. He's pretty smooth. I'm not sure the bib he's wearing, so we should see. Usually it's a Tracksmith. More men coming through. It's just amazing to me how fast human beings can be at covering such astonishingly long distances. To be able to run this speed for over 2 hours is just really incredible.
That's not him in the cap.
No, I do not think that's him in the green hat. You can see the NYPD are sunning themselves. I think that's why they're standing there. I think I see Mario on the right corner with the blue hat.
Here, you want me to get it? Go, Mario! Good. Good job,
Here's our Mario, go.
Good job, Mario!
Go, Mario, go! Woo! Woo! There we go. Now, we just got a little sideways glance of Mario recognition. I know he's pushing in the pain point.
He is a serious man when he races. No two bones about it.
I love that about him. This guy just knows how to throw down and really push himself, but he's looking pretty good and smooth. He's looking focused. At this point in the race, you don't really want to spend any outside energy raising your hand, waving, doing anything like that.
I totally agree with that. I would be the same way. Tim,
Yeah, right.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Tim's saying thank you for all the content we provide. Adil's we're set past about 7 or 8 minutes ago, I would say. You can always scroll back in this feed and find him. Oh, I didn't realize Dean Karnazes is running. We haven't
Dean is out here. I think he's doing a 60K because, of course, why not?
Yeah.
So
He doesn't have to do anything halfway. Let me see if I can find him on the map.
we'll see where Dean Karnazes is. I think he was doing some longer event of just running longer before even the start of this thing. More men starting to come through. Okay, guys, this is where the race, the plot thickens, so to speak, right? Just the runners, more and more runners start to go through. Really starting to see them stream down the way now. This is a really great time to watch this race and start to see more and more people. Here's one of our first non-elite females coming through. She's on pace. She's looking to be running a 2:45 or something. They're absolutely flying.
Yeah, under 245. She'll probably be at 240. Good job, Sean.
So the shirtless guy, Sean. No, he's just shirtless, Sean. He's Yu Wang's husband. Yu Wang is a professional ultra runner, and Sean is one of these guys who can just, with very little training, just jump into things and crush. So he's just absolutely incredible. Like, I think he just, with very little training, ran like a 1:13.5.
That is insanity. That is a genetic special person.
And it doesn't matter the location or the time or the place, he will be working out without a shirt off. So shirtless Sean, everyone.
So Dean Karnazes he's averaging about 10-minute miles, probably because he did another 20 miles this morning before the race got started.
And I thought he was just in New Zealand or Australia running like 100K like last weekend. So that guy gets around, does all the events. More and more people coming through, guys. You start to see them trickle in. This is really fun. It's really fun to see everyone who wakes up early. They train after work. No one here is getting paid to run. They're doing it. And, of course, today is this big celebratory day. They get to run through the streets of New York and have everyone cheering them on. But all of these people have been training for 4-6 months by themselves. Like, really, really incredible just to have that grit and determination.
And just about every runner that you see here is probably one of the faster runners in their community. Everybody here has won races. If you're doing a 2:30 marathon, you are winning most of the races the local runs that you're a part of.
More and more people coming down the field. Again, if you are liking this live stream, there are two things you can do to support us. Number one, you can hit that like button. You can share this live feed with others. It helps other people find our channel. And the second thing you can do is in the description of this video, you can download our free training app, and you can start to get run form exercises, strength workouts, and other things that could actually get you one day out on a road like this for the New York City Marathon, where you can be out living this running lifestyle.
And if you are just starting running, we have beginner running programs. We have little workouts you can jump into. You can track your runs. We have a whole community. So if you haven't tried out our app yet, click that link below in the description, and you can check it out for free.
More and more athletes starting to come in. Now this is starting to be the trickle. You know, these guys are still probably the sub-3 crowd. And
These guys are probably still under 245, I believe. But, you know, we're starting to see the mainstream trickle of runners come in now. And hopefully we'll start to see some of the costumes. But you can still see how many orange pairs of Vaporflies we see on these people's feet.
orange and pink, a lot of those coming through. I think I saw one of our first athletes race with a collared shirt on, which I just love and appreciate.
And the crowds are starting to come out. This is when we really start to get into the meat of the 70,000. Is it 70,000? I believe.
I think 50 plus. Do you know how many?
Runners? Just over 50.
No big deal, just 50,000 people all showing up. That's like an entire major college.
And it is tired here.
Good job, Mad Dog.
Looking good.
You got it. You got it. 4 to go. 4 to go.
So this is where things get hard, right? If your pacing has been off a little bit, if your fueling's off a little, or just mentally, like you're gonna start to see people walk through here and have to will themselves to the finish line. It's just another 30, 40 minutes of pain from here.
You know, somebody asked us that Mike Warding that just passed. I thought that looked like Mike as well. I didn't get a close enough look.
I didn't tell either. Of course, Mike is out here. Of course, Mike is running because that guy runs everywhere. But the absolute nicest guy. If Mike Warding is coming through your neighborhood and you have the opportunity to meet him, definitely take that opportunity. He is such a great, special human. More and more men coming through. We've seen a few of the non-elite women, which is really exciting. And what's so great about New York is just how international this field is, right? We talked to people yesterday
from every country, all over South America, all over Asia, all over, I mean, just about every continent. It was crazy. And so many languages you hear being spoken. And of course, that's true in New York in general, but specifically at the expo yesterday and at all the events. It's really, really a great international race.
Yeah, it's so fun to see everyone come through. All the neighborhoods come out.
And if you come here and have a chance to see the opening ceremonies, which is something that only New York does, I believe, they had fireworks, they had people marching in from each country, really a nice celebration of culture, and really elevating this race and kind of bringing up the bar for what an international marathon looks like.
Yeah, such a fun place to be. If you guys can come out here and do it, I definitely would recommend it, even just to visit and spectate. New York is just always such a fun weekend. It's just always one of my highlights of the year. Still lots of pink shoes. It'd be fun to do a shoe count on one of these things and see.
We should do a Vaporfly shoe count. Now, the green, we see these hot green shoes. I can't. Those are Nikes too. So those must be a slightly different model, but they pretty much have washed over the competition in all these elite and sub-elite, and we'll start to see this even in kind of like the 3 hour, 3:30. We'll still see people running in the Vaporflies.
Yeah, more and more people coming through. We see them in these tight little packs. It's just a great way to mentally and physically save a little bit of energy just by trying to run together as much as you can. We can see people still trying to cross the street while there's still these gaps with the runners, but as we move on, there's going to become fewer and fewer gaps, and it's just going to be harder to navigate from one side to the next.
Did you see one guy with one pink and one green shoe? I did not. Oh, green is the next percent. Okay, gotcha.
What do we got? Hey guys, while we're here, any comments or questions? We would love to hear it. Anything about marathoning, training, anything like that, just drop them in and we'll do our best while we're hanging out and watching this race go by.
So Seth has one more mile. Yes, he does have a YouTube channel. You should go check it out. Someone asked when the marathon started. The marathon, it's an ancient race based on somebody running to the city of Marathon in Greece and then dying upon giving the news of a victory win.
But fun fact about the distance, the early days of the marathon, there wasn't a real fixed distance of it. It was 23 miles, 24 miles, 25 miles, and it didn't settle into the 26.2 mile format that it now currently has until it was like the London Olympics of, I want to say, 1904 or 1908. You guys can correct me on the specifics, but basically they wanted to extend the race so it finished in front of Buckingham Palace, and that's where it got the very specific distance that it has of that 26.2 miles. Fun fact, right?
What is the coldest weather to go out for a nice jog? Oh man, people go out in freezing weather. Not my favorite. What's the significance of being at mile 22? So, we're at mile 22 because we love seeing people just, they can kind of feel the finish line, but we love kind of this point where people are really starting to feel it, and you can see the difference between, the elite athletes. It's still spread out enough that we can kind of see people as they come by, people we know. It's just a great spot to watch the marathon.
This really is the most human part of the race. a lot of runners talk about the infamous wall that sometimes runners, feel like they run into at that mile 18 or 20 mile mark. And it's usually at the end of their longest run. 18 to 20 miles is when your body has exhausted a lot of its own glycogen stores. So if you've paced incorrectly or anything, just everything comes screaming to a halt at this moment. So it's why we love to broadcast and stream right here, just so you can see what that experience is like.
So somebody's asking, how do you progress? Esoteric says, how do you progress from a 10K to half marathon? Can you do a half marathon without gels? Whether you do it without gels is a personal thing. It's definitely possible to do a half marathon without gels. And and actually, I would say check out our app. We have progressions from beginner to, half marathon to marathon. There's a link in the description for our free app. And then somebody was asking, is the Ineos 159 guy available today? He's actually at the finish line. This is Elliot Kipchoge. He's not racing today because he raced so recently.
He's going to give other runners an opportunity for a win, let other people have the limelight. The nutrition thing is definitely a hot topic today. I would say that, just as what Craig was saying, you can run as far as you want with little or no food. But what happens is when you want to start running longer periods at those higher intensity levels, you're no longer just burning your body's internal fat stores. So if you can train and do a lot of fasted runs and run at slightly lower intensities, you can metabolically just continue to burn your body's internal fat stores, which are pretty limitless. But if you start to go to these higher intensities, you just run into limited glycogen supplies. So when you start to see half marathon to marathon, and these guys are really pushing the pace, they need to supplement with something just to keep going.
So a couple people are asking where we are. That street sign is 109th Street. We are at the top north east corner of Central Park, if you look on the map. But that is 5th Avenue and 109th Street.
Yeah, if you guys are here and you want to come down and check out and say hi, if anyone wants to bring me a cup of coffee, I would not turn that down at all.
So people are asking about nutrition and what you eat the night before. People are widely varied on this. Some people are still on the whole carbo loading engine. I personally think that the things that you do before your long runs, which is just your normal everyday meal, is probably the best. There's a lot of hey, I want to get this special thing into my body for the night before. I think it's practice. Practice what you're about to do in the marathon. So if you are training and eating a certain way, you want to eat that way before the marathon as well.
Yeah, well said. The idea that stuffing pasta down your face the last hour is really going to do much of a difference. It's really not going to that much. What Craig said, we want to keep our nutrition as regular as possible and as balanced as possible. So you're still eating what you would normally eat before your normal days. And here's the thing, guys, that we don't think about. If we're tapering well going into a marathon, meaning the last 2 weeks we're doing less and less activity, chances are we're still eating at higher levels. So in that final week, just by doing less activity, our glycogen stores have really started to top themselves off. So we actually don't even need to eat that much on Friday or Saturday to perform well because we've brought our activity down so much. Now I'm starting to feel that sun.
Yeah, so to me, that's what the weather is. It's 52 right now, but with the wind and in the shade, it definitely feels a little chillier than that. We're hitting the sun now, which is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I want to say there's probably a 5-10 degree difference between the sun and the shade. Whew.
Do you think that salt pills help during a marathon? It seems like I can pick up the electrolytes I need by drinking Gatorade at the stations. That's an interesting question. You want me to get that?
So I would say that for longer, hotter races, the electrolyte management becomes more of a thing. And some people are just such salty sweaters that they really benefit from an additional supplement. For a race like this, it is pretty perfect. You're going to definitely lose from a dehydration standpoint. But I would say, my own personal preference, I wouldn't use salt pills on a nice cool day like this.
Yeah, so I tend to lose a lot of salt. I don't know if I would use salt pills, but I would probably use one of the gels that includes electrolytes in it. it also, I don't know if they are they handing out Gatorade at this marathon. I can't remember what the sponsor is, but you know the kind of caveat with using something like Gatorade to get your salts is that you're also taking in a lot of sugars and stuff when you're doing that. So in order to get the salt you want, you're also kind of getting another balance of sugars, depending on what you want, whether you want that or not.
Yeah, a key thing for any race is to do your research on what the nutrition sponsor is, because you may find that you've trained with something, the race course offers something else, and you really have two options there. You either switch to whatever the race course is offering and train with that, so you're used to it, or you just know that you're going to have to bring your own stuff with you to the race course.
We actually see a lot. I was just noticing, and it may just be where we are in the marathon. These guys are all around the 3-hour-ish finishing times, but you see a lot fewer of people carrying like goo belts and water bottles and that sort of thing. I mean, one, because it's a very, very well supported race, but also I feel like at a certain level of eliteness, you're not really trying to jam a whole lot of nutrition in a 2.5, 3 hour period. If you're running a 5-hour marathon, you actually probably need a lot more attention toward your nutrition just because you're out and exerting yourself for that much longer.
Just to manage, and especially the hotter, the warmer the temperatures, that becomes a big deal. My fun fact, my first marathon ever, it was an 85+ degree day, and we were running through the afternoon. It was brutal. And I happened to train with one of those old school fuel belts with like the little like grenades of water around your belt, and that thing got me through the race because the aid stations were too far apart to get enough water, but now I probably wouldn't run with that as much.
And guys, we are in the meat of this race, and still look at how many Vaporflies. It is well over half the crowd here has some version of the Vaporfly or the next percent.
This video is not brought to you by Nike, but we are just fascinated with this.
Exactly.
More runners coming through. Now, you're starting to see some runners take little walk breaks, and a lot of time that happens because they're starting to cramp up in certain places. Now, some of you guys may think, oh man, it's probably because of an electrolyte issue. And the other thing to think about with that is it's actually just a fatigue issue. It is a body position and mechanic thing. As these guys start to fatigue and break down, they lose their ability to stabilize their pelvis, and all of a sudden their glutes aren't firing as well, and that puts a lot of stress on their groin, their adductors, and their hamstrings. Their hamstrings are doing all the work by themselves, and when you lose position a little bit more, you sneeze, you cough, you try to change directions, any little thing can set off a cramp.
One of the other things you can notice here, and I mean, definitely body types are highly variant, and biomechanics are variant from runner to runner, but you can see if you go back towards the elites and rewind this to when we were watching the elites, people are so much more upright as they're crossing past us right now compared to the elites. And you really notice with the elites, like there's a distinct lean, and that is something that, I mean, there's definitely correlation there in terms of the running form, but you see people are way much more upright as they come by us.
That lean is also just going to be a function of speed, right? Because they are going faster, there's going to be a little bit more pronounced there. But you can start to see, just as Craig said, that big variance in terms of people's cadence, where their shoulder and arm swing is. Again, I think that just really tells the tale of the runner. Watch their head, watch their shoulders. You can see how well they're breathing. You can see how smooth, because if their upper body is a little stiff, everything else down the chain is going to be stiff as well. So for you guys who are out running and doing your own things, this is such a good thing to pay attention to. Every couple minutes, shake out those shoulders, draw a little awareness there, and see what happens.
Liz is here. Liz, we love you. Liz, one of our team members, Liz Day, a.k.a. Lizzie Runs Far, is in the comments. Feel free to pipe in with questions, Liz, or commentary if you have people you want us to track.
It was so fun. It was so fun getting lunch with Liz on Thursday. We always don't get to see our team, but got to spend some quality time with Jeff, our videographer and editor extraordinaire. Jeff, if you're watching, what's up? And, of course, catching up with Liz as well.
Somebody saying,
how many people we got watching? Guys, I'm blind. I don't really see the comments right now.
I can't actually, somebody can pop in and tell us how many people are watching, because unfortunately the display doesn't show us anymore.
Is it blocked by the little thing?
It just says ... It's over 1,000, but I can't see if it's 1,000 or 1,500 or 1,800.
I have a way of figuring this out. Here we go, guys. It is 12:15. We've probably been on for at least an hour at this point. More and more athletes are coming through. You can see how strong this is. We're
Barrage is, oh, she's commenting on somebody.
Dude, we have almost 2,000 people watching.
Oh, right. I hope
That is incredible.
2,000. Are they saying it's crossed 2,000 now?
Absolutely incredible watching all these athletes come through. Woo. Looking good. It's getting thicker and thicker now as we come through, guys. Look at all of these runners coming through. Everyone here has prepared for months to get ready, unless you're Craig Friends Tyler, who did not get ready and put himself in a spot of bother the last time he ran New York.
Oh, me. Yeah.
No, not you, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember?
Right. So I had a friend, Tyler, who did not train and ended up in the hospital and had rhabdo, which is rhabdomyosis, which is when the amount of toxins for your muscles are giving off start to
Basically released into your bloodstream, and you've basically like poisoned your blood. Very, very dangerous. Your kidneys just can't handle it. So that is an amazing thing because he was trying to win a bet amongst a friend. So not only was he jumping and doing it, but he just hammered himself all the way through. Not recommended, not recommended.
So Velocity XX says, can I move to San Francisco and train with you guys? You may, but you can also train with us online. If you guys have not downloaded our free mobile app, there's a link in the description. And we would love to chat with you guys more. You can ask a lot of questions to our coaches in the community section. You can look up our workouts. We have a cadence challenge that's up there that we all did together just a little while ago. And Dom Biggie says, what is the run experience? We are a training company online, a team of coaches that is trying to get people to run healthier. If you want to run something like the New York Marathon and you want to progress from being a beginner all the way to entering this race and being here alongside so we can cheer you on, yeah, download the app and chat with us about your running plans, and we can help you out.
Guys, we have no sponsors. We are our own sponsor. The best way you can support us and our channel is to download that app and start training with us. All of the free tips that you found you like on our videos, we've put into programs and workouts that you can do to become that better, stronger, more durable runner.
And I'll add there, the best way you can support us, if you like us doing this, is to download the app and then review the app for us, because that makes it easier for people to find it. If we had all of you guys who've liked the video, if you had given us a review, that would help us tremendously. So if you can, download our app and give us a review.
Yeah. Hey guys, just as we were talking, you saw this big group of people. That was the first 3-hour pacing group go by. All of these athletes trying to run 6-minute, 50-second pace per mile. Huge group.
Oh, look at this. We have a warrior peacock coming by. That is amazing. I love this section of the racing. We're going to start to see a bunch of costumes. People just having fun out here. The elites, it's really fun to watch everybody who's really grinding, really trying to get their PRs. It's also great to just see people accomplish this amazing feat. Running a marathon is not easy in any way, shape, or form, and don't let anybody tell you different.
Now, this guy's having fun out here, but he's still doing it at an astounding sub 7-minute mile pace. Going under 3 hours or close is just really, really incredible. That is really a remarkable feat. I know a lot of athletes working for that 3-hour pace.
There we go. Let's start calling out people's names so we can see their names on their jerseys. I always like doing that. Here's Zach. Good job, Zach. Good job, Zach. Well done, man.
So that's an example of an athlete whose hip flexors are starting to cramp up. And if you notice any of our videos, I see a guy calf cramping over there. This is why we emphasize that butt squeeze so much, being able to drive your hips forwards with your abs on, because if your butt is engaged and pressed forward, your glutes or hamstrings are working together. That takes stress off the hip flexors, and it takes stress off the hamstrings too. So important. You have to practice it when you're fresh every day with your train, because guys, at this point, you play how you practice. There's no real conscious choices you can make because you're just so crushingly tired and fatigued at this point. How's Jacqueline doing? We should be seeing her come through soon.
A couple more minutes. She
says, Jeff just tipped us for $10 in the super chat. Jeff,
Our videographer.
you're the best, man. But appreciate your support. Jeff was actually out here supporting us, and just left to go back home. But he was out here all weekend. He put up the vlog and edited our vlog and our Friday video all on the New York Marathon.
You guys should definitely watch our vlog that we put up yesterday. Jeff did a sick edit of the whole day. Super fun to be out there. We met a bunch of runners. We ran through Central Park. We checked out the expo. So if you just want to get a flavor of New York, what this race is like, definitely check out that video. More and more athletes coming through. This guy's pretty well tatted up. I'm starting to see more tattooed runners come through.
What do you think that says? They're from California.
I think there's like the bohemian runner. That whole.
Good job.
Good job. More and more people starting to come through. People are in these little groups just trying to save energy as they go. Right now, it's really all about that mental focus. How relaxed and smooth can you be as you go down the road?
All right, I was thinking we could pick like a. Oh, here's Fred. Good job, Fred. Good job, buddy.
Guys, send us your bibs if you're tracking anyone. Send us your bibs and the people, and we will look for them and try to give them a shout out.
You're absolutely right. There's a lot of next percents. Does MIC offer an ultra distance or just traditional? Just traditional. Just the normal marathon. It's not an ultra, although Dean Karnazes is doing an ultra. Let's look him up, see him when he's coming by.
I actually think the New York Roadrunners puts on a 60K, and I think it's today.
Really? I did not know. That might be a new one. When did they start it?
I have no idea. I know that in some years, for example, Dean Karnazes has, with the SF Marathon every single year, he does a 80-kilometer, basically a double marathon. They start at midnight or 1 in the morning. They run the SF Marathon course in reverse. They rest about an hour, and then they run the SF Marathon itself. And that is a hilly day.
That is a crazy, crazy thing to do.
So we're looking, it looks like we're seeing the 305 pace group go through right now. Our friend that we met as part of the Path team is pacing the 310 group, so we should hopefully see him coming through soon. There's a lot of stress being a pacer. It's kind of interesting, the psyche.
Go Fitz, go! Hot tip, guys. If you ever run a marathon, put your name on your jersey. You get so much support. I always do that. I have a Go Craig jersey I always wear when I'm marathoning. Yeah, buddy!
Oh, I love that. We're such runners who are starting to see us on the side of the road, which is always kind of fun. Guys, say hi.
Good job, Ryan!
Another key thing which is helpful is when you are just feeling totally crushed and tired and you feel like this mountain is on your back, smile, encourage another runner, slap someone's hand on the sideline. Just that little bit can just be enough to change your situation.
Pacers are the nicest people. I totally agree. Carrie, if you don't know the bib number of the person, you can look them up and using the New York Marathon app. And if you're in the App Store and you look up the New York Marathon, you'll probably see our app there, which I highly recommend. The Run Experience app is in the App Store.
It's also a link in the description of this video where you can go and it'll take you right to the spot. You know what's incredible about the marathon to me? It always amazes me. It doesn't matter how many you've done. It doesn't matter how many videos or tips or things that you could watch to prepare yourselves. When you're out there on the course, you still have to deal with all of the inevitable highs and lows and the pain. And I don't know any runner who doesn't go through some down spots on these races. Like, it's going to happen. You just don't know when or how long. So just dealing with that pain and uncertainty.
Yeah, we got so many. Oh, we hit 2,000 people. We are at over 2,000 people. And I don't know if we've gotten to 1,000 likes yet, but if you guys were trying to hit 1,000 likes, so if you want to jump in there and hit the like button. And again, the best way to support us is to download our mobile app, the Run Experience, on the App Store, and give us a review. That is the best way you can support us as a patron. Keep us out here and giving you guys all the streaming you want for all, actually, what, 3 or 4 of the major races this year.
You know, we haven't been to Tokyo or Berlin.
There's always next year.
We just had some delicious ramen. You know, it might be fun to go to the source, Craig, if you know what I mean. Guys, send us to Tokyo so we can cover the race there.
That, I think Nate's hinting at something.
All these runners starting to come through more and more. You're starting to see a mix of more men and women. I'm glad that sun's coming out because I was getting a little chilly there for a second. More of these athletes are just steaming up Fifth Ave. And you guys can't tell, but just really past this starts to go uphill a little bit. And you don't really think about it, but it's when you're this tired, any small change in the terrain can be a really gnarly distance. Just that slight uphill tick can be so painful. But they're at Central Park. They can see where they're going to finish to the right.
What borough we're in? Well, we're in Manhattan, and then we are on the, I guess this would be considered the Upper East Side.
Yeah, we're on the Upper East Side, the northeast corner of Central Park. Going down Fifth Ave, just watching all these runners come through. It is such a special thing to see.
This is kind of amazing. I love watching this part of the race. You can see some people are definitely hurting. This is, people grabbing their hamstrings, their legs. This is where things start to seize up sometimes. It's really an interesting part of the race. I mean, this is where your training is really coming through. This is where your nutrition starts to show itself because you're at that part where, glycogen stores are low. Whatever you've been doing during the first, half of the race really is starting to show up here. Maybe your pace was perfect, maybe it was off. You're always trying to negative split this or at least end, with some sort of like good form. And you can start to see for some people it's starting to fall apart. This is part of the marathon. This is what we're here for.
Yeah, it really makes the marathon such a tough nut to crack for a race, even for really talented elite runners who have a lot of experience, 10, 15, 20 years of experience running and racing. This event is so long. There's so many variables that go into having a good day. First, your preparation. How did you do the months going in? Did you do enough long runs? Did you do too many long runs? Did you do enough speed work? Did you do enough race space specific stuff? Were you fueling yourself properly in those runs, training your gut to be able to eat along the way? And then that doesn't even mention how you actually perform and execute on race day.
And Vladdy Runs just says he downloaded the app. Guys, if you do download the app, one, you can pop us a message over there. It'll come up on my phone. And there's it in the community section. And then let us know in the comments if you've downloaded the app and like what you like about it. We'd love to see that.
If you download the app and drop a comment in there, we will send you a personal video message saying hi and welcoming you.
That's right. That's right. We will do exactly that.
So we're getting back to that race day. You could be super excited and you can go out a little hot. The hard part is everyone is feeling so fit. They're feeling so fresh. They're so excited. They're so relieved for the start of the race. I always felt like the day or two before the race was always the worst time for me. Once the race started, that's when I feel like I could just get down to business.
Danique Van Erven, we are at 109th Street and 5th Avenue. That's that cross you can see up there on the corner. And we are about 22 and a half miles into the race, the top northeast corner of Central Park. This is, the runners have almost exactly 4 miles left when they cross this, which is, some of the toughest 4 miles and the longest 40 minutes that they're going to face all day.
You can really start to see the painful faces, and some of these guys may have just gone out a little bit too fast. They went beyond what their training could potentially hold for the day, but that's okay. They're still out here, and they have to gut their way through. These last couple miles can just feel impossible and forever, but it will end. They just need to put their head down, get it done, and pretty soon they'll be smiling as they cross that finish line.
All right, we're getting some people commenting in the app. Let me call you guys out. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, that is so cool.
Kenny Cappy says enjoying the coverage of the marathon. Just download the app. Cheers to you, Kenny. Thank you for supporting us. You want to throw a review in the App Store? We super appreciate that. Paul DeWard says good luck at the New York Marathon. Thank you, Paul.
All these athletes coming through is just absolutely beautiful, crisp, perfect weather to run a marathon. It's a little chilly for us spectating but these guys are just perfect temperature to push themselves and be out here. When it gets into the 60s and 70s, believe it or not, it actually gets a little bit too warm and uncomfortable out there.
So we are actually on the east corner of the park, and it might be because this video might be flipped around, just something that YouTube does. Let me see if that is the way it is.
So one of our longtime TRE members, Jacqueline Muelling, is a few blocks away. She is trying to target a 3:15 for the day, and it looks like she is doing okay and on pace.
She's doing all right. She's around a 3:16, so maybe she can mobilize a little more.
You should get a little bit more.
Some last.
All right, so this is I haven't seen this before. I'll just put it that way. Woo! This guy running in a Speedo and a bathrobe. That's a very swimmer water polo player right there.
Some comments in the app. I'm going to call you guys out. Again, Jennifer Sharon says download the app. Thanks for covering. Stay warm. Appreciate that. Richard Moore. Loving the coverage of the New York Marathon. Really inspirational. Thank you. Patrick McGinnis. How about Dublin, Ireland, guys, next year? I ran it last week. Oh, that sounds amazing. I would love to go to Ireland. Deanna says great live stream from Sonora, Mexico. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for downloading our app. Throw us a review in the App Store if you can. It's the best way you can support us.
Hey, guys, we've got lots of great free workouts and programs in there. Definitely start with our Quick Start. We got a lot of great go-to workouts on some of my favorite things on run form, on strength training, mobility to make a huge difference. And then we have our Run Cadence Challenge, which is just a really great, fun way to start implementing on a daily basis some great run form stuff. Everyone who came out of that 30 days we did with us just had such a huge change in their running. So, you can be out here one day and you can really execute when it matters. I love New York.
Danielle Woods says she's loving the coverage of the marathon. Thank you, Danielle. And her dad is running it. I'm hoping to see him. His bib number is 40122. Blaine is his name, if you give him a shout out. So Danielle, let us know where he is. We're at mile 22 and a half at 109th Street, so you can check him on the map. If you download the New York City Marathon app, you can track him.
And if you guys can give us outfits, sometimes it's easier to spot people by outfits and the numbers. At this point, the numbers get a little crumply, and by the time we recognize the number, they've already gone by.
Exactly. We can only see them about 10, 15 yards out to see what the number is.
That and I don't have my glasses on, so that's another thing.
That is a problem.
It's all blurry shapes, Craig. It's all blurry shapes. Here we go. More and more people coming through. We can start to see some different athletes walking and struggling. And again, guys, this is such a hard part of the race. We're either at that wall or just past it where people have trained up to that 18 to 20 mile mark. Here and beyond, for a lot of these runners, it's unknown. They've literally never run this far in their life, and they just don't know how their body's going to respond. If they made any little small error, mistake in their pacing in the earlier miles, it just gets compounded with every additional mile, and they really can start to suffer now. If they've eaten the wrong things, they can really start. And here's another athlete we start to see.
You gotta love to see this. Runners helping runners. She's feeling a little woozy, probably real low on glycogen. And you just gotta love the kind of community support and the feel. One of the things I love about this marathon and just running the running community in general. And we also have Genevieve Clough downloaded our app and says, enjoying the live coverage of the New York Marathon. Hope to be a participant next year. I hope that you are too. I hope you get to use our programs in order to get here. You now have the app, so now you can do that.
Yeah, we just have so many great people coming through. Greg, I'm really glad you brought that up because the marathon training can be. Go, Jacqueline, go! Woo!
Pam says she just downloaded the app. Fantastic, guys.
So cool. We just saw Jacqueline go through. How's she look?
To be completely honest with you, I think she's in pain.
Hey! Woo!
I think she's in a little bit of pain.
Yeah.
Doesn't look too smooth.
I think Jacqueline was looking a little in pain too.
Runners recognize that's pretty amazing.
Always fun. It's amazing that we told people we were going to be here, but it's amazing we just look like people standing on the sideline. So fun that we're getting people's attention that way.
Wilson downloaded our app and says, enjoying our live coverage of 22. Are you able to give times for the passing runners? That's actually a great idea. I'll look up one of these numbers and see about where we are. You got to pick somebody who looks like they're going an even pace.
Yeah, the interesting thing, and guys, a lot of these races go in waves. So some of these waves are a couple minutes apart. So some of these athletes might be next to each other, but one might actually be 5 minutes ahead or behind the other. You can't always tell that way. But look how thick it is. If you guys were here in the beginning, this road was empty. All those runners were having to do this whole thing by themselves. Now there's this huge crowd. There's this leverage. Everyone, go get your lady. Really fun. Really, really fun. Good to see you. Give Jacqueline our love. Next major.
I will. Yes, seriously. See you guys. Yeah,
See you.
So the runners that are coming by right now are still at roughly like 3:15 pace, depending on what wave they're in. Like Nate said, there might be a 5-10 minute difference depending on whether they're in a earlier or later wave.
But you're starting to see that these guys are still, you said 3:15?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So still really fast. We're still seeing athletes in the sub 3 hour. And if you're curious about what it's like to run at a 7 minute pace, some of you guys are looking to Boston qualify someday. A lot of these athletes who are running right now are very much looking for that. They're trying to qualify for Boston to be able to run in a big race like that. So all these guys are working so hard for that right now.
Somebody's asking where we're standing. We are at 109th Street and 5th Avenue. Emerson and Peter, you're asking where we are. So you can look that up. We're 22 and a half miles. Tom said, did we get our coffee? And no, we did not get coffee yet. We are going to have a delicious warm lunch when we get out of the freezing cold. We have been live, guys, for almost an hour and a half bringing this race to you. I hope that you guys are enjoying it. As we keep saying this, but the best way you can support us is to download our app. The link is in the description, and leave a good review on the App Store. Liz says, yes, we're at 109th and 5th Avenue.
Yeah, and the second best way is just to like this video. Share it with someone else. Have them catch this live stream so they can, hang in on the fun, as we like to say. I love this.
Jorge says, enjoying your coverage from Houston. Fantastic. Man, there's so many people that are posting in. Fariel says, my boyfriend's running the marathon. His bib is 54,185. He is wearing blue shoes and very tall. All right, let's look him up.
We will look for the blue shoed, very tall runner, 54,185. Yeah, if you guys tell us like projected time, do you think your athletes are coming through? If you track them and you know that they're a few blocks away from us, then let us know. Then we'll be able to look out for them and give them a shout out. More and more athletes coming through. It's thicker. We can start to see the audience come out. It might be chilly, but they are here and cheering everyone on and just bringing their energy. Everyone who comes to New York comes for the energy from the crowd. Every single borough, neighborhood has its own. What was it like for you, Craig, when you ran?
Oh, wow. So I would say like one of the greatest things about New York is how much the city supports the marathon. And you don't always see this. Boston does this, but not only do they close down all the roads that are major roads in the city. I mean, we are on 5th Avenue here, right next to the park, but also the city kind of comes alive. There are parties being thrown in all the boroughs. I know lots of like street corners in Brooklyn. People are throwing brunch parties, yelling out their windows, not just lining the streets. And that is the entire way. We are not actually at a special corner from a cheering perspective. And yet you can hear all the bells going. You hear people cheering in the background.
It really is. It's a whole event for the city. Everyone comes out to watch it. It's a fun thing that everyone participates in. One of my favorite interviews from yesterday with one of the ladies we interviewed, she said you just feel like such a superstar in this race. She crossed the line. She went with her family just to a restaurant, a little farther away, and the whole wait staff applauded her as she came in with her race medal. That just made her feel so special. And she just doesn't know that many races where the whole city cares so much about that.
Liz says Wilson wants to know what the current time is for passing runners. And as we say, this is about it's for some runners, it's about 3:20, but because the different waves start at different times, this is not constant. So I think for some people, this might be as late as like a 3:30, and for some people it might be a little bit quicker. But it's variant now because we get this late in the race, and the different waves have passed each other. They've been running for 22 miles, and so right now we're in the still like fairly safe to say this is under 3:30 for everybody that's passing us right now.
Yeah, all of these athletes are going through. You know, an interesting part of these is that when you get into the start of these races, there are these waves you get into, and they try to organize you based on your projected finish time. But guys, the first few miles, it is tight, shoulder to shoulder. Believe it or not, this is spaced out for some of these runners. And sometimes if you get a little excited, like I did in one of my first races, you think you're going to like run up the gutters and spend a lot of energy trying to duck and weave through all these runners as they go through. And let me tell you, it doesn't work well. So try to run at the pace of everyone else. Try not to waste a lot of energy going through people, and you'll be much better off in this place. I saw another group go by at a 7:49 pace group. So 7:50, that is like 3:25, I want to say.
Yeah, so these guys, you can see the different color bibs they have on, and that just shows the different waves that they're in. And you can see each of them has a different, there's green, there's dark, like a dark black, there's the orange, and each of those waves means they started at a different time.
So here's the 3:25 marathon pace group right here going through. For those of you guys interested in running that 3:25, take a look. This is what it looks like.
Pretty amazing. That's 7:49 a mile, which is still clipping along, guys. 26.2 miles at under 8-minute pace. So that is a feat for any human that can do that is really accomplished something pretty amazing.
And this is so cool about humans and just our ability to run. I mean, how many ages have we seen? Men, female, different body types. We're seeing tall, we're seeing short, we're seeing bigger, more muscular, we're seeing leaner, and just everyone here is executing. Really cool. I mean, I'm just inspired. I would love to be out here doing this 30, 40 years from now for sure.
Back of the pack coverage, please. We're going to be out here as long as we can.
We'll be out here longer if one of you brings some coffee.
Dom asks, how was the New York City Expo? I will say the New York Expo was busier than I've seen it in many years. It was a zoo. I mean, just thousands and thousands of runners. One of the things that we were noticing was how much, hydration and mobility companies, mobility tools, so whether it's rollers or, the Hypervolt is the company gave us one of their products to try out, the Hyper Ice. Those types of products are really kind of taking over the running world, and we saw how many of those companies were out here this year.
No surprise that as runners push themselves, their body starts to hurt, and they're looking for solutions to become more pain-free. So they're using rollers, they're using different power tool devices to help things. They're using balms and creams to cool things off, and it's why we at the Run Experience focus so much on your strength training, your run form, and your injury prevention, because if you can have good full control of that, like you've got full agency over your body and your running. You know how to take care of yourself, you know how to train yourself when things inevitably happen. You know how to fix yourself and can correct things before they become a problem, and that's why we're here. That's why we care so much. And that's why we've built our app, which is my little segue into the best way you can support us, guys, is to download our training app.
First of all, Chrome Women Walking, thank you so much for the tip for coffee money. We will definitely be using that in just a little while when we go get coffee. And somebody says, will we upload the video to our channel? Yes, this video will be on our channel forever after this. I mean, you can actually go and see last year's New York Marathon where we were right here as well. Are runners allowed to carry their phones? Yes, you are allowed to carry your phone. I'm sure a lot of these runners are carrying their phones in some sort of belt buckle. With watches these days, though, I mean, you can see how many people have some sort of GPS watch, a Garmin or a Sunto or any of the number brands that do GPS watches.
I'm just trying to see who is listening to headphones. I'm definitely seeing some earbuds in. I think races have gone back and forth on whether that will allow you to listen to headphones. I've always liked not to, because I love being open for the social and the interaction of everything when I'm out racing.
Guys, we have Alex Santos who posted it in the Run Experience app. Again, the best way you can support us is to click the link in the description and download our mobile app and give us a review there in the App Store when you download it. Alex says he's committed to running the New York next time because our coverage motivated him. He's from the November Project in Dallas, so that's awesome, Alex. I'm glad to hear that. Olivia Sampson says, a shout out to her friend Annette Foy. Should be approaching next 10 to 15 minutes. Also, well done to Mo at a blistering time. Thanks for downloading the app, Olivia. Again, here comes the 3:30 pace group, guys. The New York Roadrunners, who puts on this race and is putting up all the pacers, does an amazing job. This is, I mean, if you're going to run one marathon and you're able to get into the New York Marathon, this would definitely be a great choice.
Really special shout out to the New York Roadrunners. They really are incredible. We talked to an athlete yesterday in one of our videos how we got into the event. And they have a program that if you do 9 of their, because New York Roadrunners literally put on 50 races a year, 50 races a year. And if you do 9 of their races, and those could be a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and you volunteer at one, that will get you a spot into the New York City Marathon, which is so great because you use those 9 races to get yourself trained up. You volunteer and participate, you give back to this incredible community, and then you get to be one of the stars of the day and experience such an incredible event.
Here we go. This is 8-minute pace, guys. This is what 8-minute pace looks like after 22 miles. Every one of these runners is chasing that down, trying to keep their pace. That is impressive. And look at the range of ages we see here. You know, see people well over 50, in some cases over 60 that are running 8-minute pace. It is super, super impressive. What I love about marathoning is how accessible it is at any stage of life. You know, we see some young kids coming by here, and we'll probably see more of that as the race goes on. This is still pretty quick, guys. This is 8-minute pace right here.
Yeah, really amazing to see. Watch all these runners come through at that 3:30 pace and beyond. Really, really such a cool thing. These guys have to work just as hard as anyone else training for this. They have to train just as long. In fact, a lot of their long runs take longer just to get out and get those miles in. Now, some of you guys might think, oh man, do I need to run 6 days a week or 7 days a week to run a marathon? You actually don't. You can do it in as little as probably 3-4 days a week of running, especially if you're doing some cross training and some strength training. And that's actually a secret for a lot of us runners who are starting our running, careers late, using a half or full marathon to get into training. The biggest challenge for all of these guys is just to not even get to the finish line, but to get to the starting line healthy, right, Craig? I mean, that's such a hard thing to do.
I mean, and just to finish a marathon is one thing, but to finish it healthy is even harder. And it really takes not just putting in the miles, but putting the attention towards training. I mean, it is the basis for why we have the Run Experience, to give you guys that type of coaching. And, to finish it is a huge accomplishment, but there are also people that finish marathons and then don't run again because they have some sort of injury. It's not an easy thing on your body. And what we want to promote is healthy, lifelong running. For people to discover, you can run a marathon. Whoever you are, we've seen so many turnaround stories just in our own community.
It really is incredible. There are going to be some highs and lows in the training and the race. Things will happen, but that's why that community is so important, to help you get through it. So if you do this, guys, remember, this running is this thing that we see as a solo sport, but we really thrive when we make it a team sport, when we are meeting up with our local runners, even if it's just a buddy, just to do that weekly run. It helps us with that little extra accountability and motivation too.
So we have a note from Kathy Bertrand. Sign up for the Run Experience Training Club as I watch your live chat. Thanks for the motivation and coaching. Looking forward to healthy and lifelong running. Thank you, Kathy. That is exactly what we're about. I hope that you get to post in our community and we can help you through whatever programs and whatever workouts you want to do with us. I think you're going to find that running is such an accessible thing. What you're seeing the people do in front of you, you can do as well. And that is why we exist as a company. It's why Nate and I get up every single day, year in, year out. We're out here and we're working to bring you guys the best coaching and the best support, for you wherever you are in the world. So if you guys, also want to join, as Kathy did, the Run Experience, the training club, try it out. There's a 7-day free trial. And you can jump in today or just download the app and post in the community, as so many people are doing. Steph Wiza says hello from Manchester, England. Downloaded the app and is watching her Charlton Runners. I thought she said Charleston, and then I realized she's from England. So the Charlton Runner Group, I guess, is a running club in England.
I love it. Well, congratulations to those guys out there. Her cruising down the way. Man, look at all this group through. Everyone coming through, looking strong. We're still seeing, even though these cold temperatures, we're still seeing a lot of sleeveless singlets. Some people are wearing the little elbow or arm sleeves to stay a little warm. Some people have hats on or full layer hats. If it was me, I'd probably be in a full hat today. It's chilly. Look how thick this is, Craig. Man, people are just coming down the way.
Velocity XX just gave us $5 for coffee afterwards. Velocity, you are the best, man. Thank you so much. I hope that you get to download our app and we can help you out there with your own running. Julie Miller, this is so inspirational to watch. Also hoping for the back of the pack coverage. You know, we will be out here as long as we can.
Absolutely. We're probably solid middle of the pack right now. We started off watching the elite women and men come through at New York. The women get to start first. They get to be the stars of the show, which is so great. It was a very tight women's field this year, it looked like, at this point of the race. We saw the men come through after that in a nice, tight group. I can't wait to hear and see what happened and shook out in the final 4 miles of the race. And then we're seeing everyone else come through, and we love this part of the race for sure. Let's see something here.
All right, I got the mic, guys. Bill Adair says that my friend Susan Marshall is 70-ish. 70, wow. Running 12:44 miles and is crossing mile 7. That is just amazing, Bill. That is fantastic. Okay. Mara Linzer says her husband's at 20.81 now. Bib 17.823. Mara, if you look out for your husband closely, I'm sure you'll see him because we'll be right here. He'll be here probably in another 8 minutes or so, 10 minutes.
Looking so good here. Yeah, give us those names of your people, and we would love to cheer them on as we go and watch this thing.
App Skilling Vid says, how do the guys track people at current process of the marathon? App Skilling, if you want to look at in the App Store, the New York Marathon app lets you track your runners, and you can put their name or number in and then track them. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you can easily find a link just from the New York Roadrunners website. If you just Google New York City Marathon, it'll take you to the website, and a link for the app will pop up.
Shala Anway says, gave us $5 for coffee afterwards. Thank you, Shala. And she says, go is it Danya? Danya. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tell us more about your friend Shala and what her pace is and where she is.
Go Danya, go! Here we go. Let's go Spain.
Wendell is watching from the Philippines. Wendell, we have some of our team in the Philippines actually.
We're starting to see some more athletes cramp up a little bit and struggle. This is such a hard race, guys. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. 26.2 miles is legit. Everyone has to do it. So much pavement pounding, up and over bridges, through every borough of the city. It would just be exhausting. Oh, my goodness. Well, that is definitely a TRE broadcast first. You didn't catch this on state, but it was good. We just had a guy lose some of his Gatorade. His stomach is definitely not agreeing with him, which can happen when you're pushing yourself this hard. All the blood leaves your gut and your small intestine, and it's in your working muscles. So if you try to jam too much food late into the race, your stomach doesn't know what to do with it except send it out.
Let's see. Michael Hamilton says,
oh my God, we just got a cup of coffee delivered to us. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
That's awesome, man.
What's your name?
I'm Dimitri.
Dimitri, thank you. You were watching online?
Yeah, basically my roommate was watching. There you go. My roommate was watching online, and then I just heard you. I was like eating breakfast, and I just heard you need a cup of coffee, so I had to come down to Harlem anyway, so why not?
Oh man, Dimitri, thank you so much. Dimitri, are you a runner too?
No, I'm actually a biker. My bike is like right there. I bike a lot, so I kind of understand, I guess, what they're going through. Yeah, this is actually my first time coming out here. Yeah.
Well, Dimitri, thank you so much. I did not think that that was actually going to happen. This is like the total win for the weekend. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate it. Have a
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Craig, I'm speechless, man. I can't believe that happened.
And it's perfect because actually I don't drink coffee, so getting one coffee for Nate is perfect. All right. Oh, loving the stream, cheering on type 1 diabetics running for the Beyond Type 1 team. I love that. I used to work at the American Diabetes Association when I lived in Seattle. It's a cause that I feel very strongly about. You just extended our coverage by another 20 minutes by getting Nate coffee. Let's see. Yeah, Nate's life is back into him. Maria says, we didn't announce it recently, but Maria, we keep making these same announcements. We are at 109th Street and 5th Avenue. It is the northeast corner of Central Park. The runners are at mile 22 and a half. And again, if you want to support us and support the stream, you can also bring us coffee, which is amazing. That's a first for the coverage.
Yeah, that really is a first. You guys are awesome. I feel like he was the deliverer, but all of you guys played a role in making this happen. So thank you.
I know. That is kind of amazing. And if you want to support us another way, you can download our free app. The link's in the description and comment there. We're calling it everybody who gets into the app and then leaves a review or comments in our community. So.
Yeah. And if you guys are new to us, this is Craig. And I'm Nate, and we started this thing 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. We've been trying to give you guys the best training, which is all in our mobile app now. It's new. It only came out a couple months ago. We worked really hard on it. Yeah. And it's free to download.
Yeah. And it's super fun to be out here at these races. We get to connect with a lot of our runners who are in our community, who are looking to train and get better, and just to talk to more runners and reach out to you. It's just such a fun place to be.
Look at this guy, 11502, is having a little trouble with his hamstring. It is a very common thing this late in the race. The muscles start cramping up. All the things that you did and didn't do early in the race. Hopefully he can kind of massage it out. Wait for his. We were talking about this earlier. We were at our warm-up run about how relaxing when this happens is really difficult to do, but very, very.
You got this. You can do Take a few deep breaths. Relax. Try to squeeze that butt a little bit.
Maybe we should see if we want to massage it out for him.
Yeah, we got these guys out here. He's got his hamstring starting to lock up a little bit. Craig's walking over to try to help him a little bit. More and more athletes are coming through. I'm starting to see family members run alongside of the sidewalk trying to help things out a little bit as they go. So incredible. We're starting to see more athletes walk, and we're starting to see those telltale signs of cramps. We're getting into so much trouble. Just want to see your guys' comments real quick. Here we go. If you're looking for Greek coffee next week, the Authentic Marathon here in Athens. Greek coffee is delicious. Nate's sound is breaking up. The temperature.
All right, sorry, I left for a second. Gave that guy a little bit of work on his hamstrings and quads.
They said the sound is breaking up the last one.
Oh, okay. All right, if the sound is breaking up, we will always go rogue. No worries. All right, guys. Hi from Europe. Somebody says, my husband's 21 and a half, bib 17823, Liad. Mara Linzer, do you know what your husband is wearing? That's the easiest thing for us to figure out. Guys, I have been in that guy's position before and had people help me late in a race. Just passerby giving me gummy bears, salt, pretzels, and you get that late in the race, man, you can start to see stars and don't know which way is up, so it can be hard.
Now Craig isn't a quote-unquote coach with us, but he has some natural healing instincts. I think my favorite story, Craig, was helping our friend Mario, who we saw run earlier at about a 2:30 pace during the North Face Ultra a couple years ago. We were running the 50-kilometer race, a 32, 33-mile race. Mario was running the 50-mile race, and he was dealing with some serious cramping. You actually stopped and massaged, I think it was his low back, and basically got him to the finish line.
Yeah. I remember Mario was doing his first 50-miler, and I was doing a 50K, and when we crossed, he was hurting, and then I saw him at the next aid station. He was really having he had Dr. Craig. You know, my initials are MD, so... But yeah, I mean, you know what? I think that running is a communal thing. One of the things we love about our community is how we can form these relationships and support each other online, as well as when we meet people in person. We had over 40 people, I think, come out for our shakeout run on Saturday, which was cool to meet everybody out in person. We've been helping out online. And we've had so many people in our community that have met up with each other to race races together, do Ragnar relays together. I mean, it can be a solo sport, but it's so much fun to run together. Oh, what kind of a weird question that you don't have to answer, but I was wondering what Craig or Nate majored in college, any health degrees. It's funny, I was actually a collegiate runner. I was a Division I steeplechaser at Rice University, but I actually studied computer engineering and math, and so I'm actually more on the technology side.
I was international studies and French and philosophy. So a lot of hardcore exercise phys. I was a minor.
Oh wow, yeah. So Nate actually got into training about, I guess, what was it, 9 years ago now?
Yeah, I was always coaching different sports and was always an athlete myself this whole time. So I've been working with coaches, training all through junior high school. Go, go, go!
Representing Achilles Running Club, coming past you right now, wearing a bright yellow top, bib number in 18930.
I see a bright yellow top down here.
18930. And what was the name? Paul.
I'm starting to see some yellow tops come through.
Yeah, we'll look for yellow tops. Yellow tops are easy to spot. All right, let's see. 18923, no. He's going to think it's weird when we know his name.
We're starting to see more of the crowd push into the road a little bit. They're all trying to look for and find their people if they can.
All right, yellow tops. 18923.
This is such a fun place, right? Because everyone out here, or a good portion of people out here holding signs, they're cheering on their loved one, and they're really trying to pick the needle out of the haystack. They're like, 1 in 50,000 people going by is my person.
Questions? No, not yellow top. We got some other questions. Do we recommend chi running? Chi running is an interesting thing. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that have peeled off in terms of it's not the only recommendation we would give. I think there's a little bit more to like running than what you'll get from chi running, but we support a lot of the concepts that they talk about in chi running.
Yeah, Chi Running was one of the first books on running form I ever picked up and read way back in 2003, 2004. I read that book cover to cover. I practiced a lot of it. When I first moved to San Francisco, I actually met with some Chi running instructors and took a whole lot of lessons. So big shout out to Danny Dreyer and what they've done and created. We've got 15, dude, I'm behind. We have 15 notifications in our app.
Yeah, let's see. Guys, again, you can support us by clicking the link in the description.
Hi.
By clicking a link you can support this live stream by clicking a link in the description and downloading our mobile app and then giving us a review in that app. We are actually calling out all the people in the community that have posted in our app. Let me do that right now. Let's see. Greg S. is watching from Austin. Thank you, Greg. Deanna has posted. She's wearing, she posted with the coverage. Oh, hold on. Let's see. 21411 is close to mile 21 as a minute ago.
With all the clothing.
With all the clothing. We might actually be able to find her. I'm going to look for Mireya. Okay, cool. Steph. We got a lot of people here. Guys, Jane Creevy's watching. Oh, yeah. Jane is watching live stream from Ireland. Shout out to Joan Hickson. Our All right, so Deanna, let's look at 214111. Let's see if we can find Mireya. It's always cool when we can find people.
Guys, my coffee is still warm right now. It's lubricating that throat a little bit. I'm in New York watching this incredible race. Life is good, you might say. Getting to hang out with all you people.
All right, Mireya Casillas, age 30 from Mexico. Let's see if we can find her.
We got another guy flying the Spanish flag for sure. Looking strong all the way. Go, Steve, go! Woo!
Okay, it looks like Mireya is still at mile 20, so she won't be coming by for another 10 minutes, but we will look for her.
More and more runners coming down, looking strong as we go.
Joan Hickson, 26280. I'm going to add some of these people into our app and see if I can find them.
Really, really cool. We haven't seen a pacer go by, but we're still probably seeing athletes in the 4-hour mark, plus or minus. All these athletes are still, at that 4-hour mark or a little bit faster. We're looking at a 9-minute pace on average at this point, guys.
So, Nate, does this make you want to run a marathon? I entered the London Marathon to see if I get in. I didn't get in, unfortunately. We could probably pull some strings and get an entry here. But this is kind of an amazing race. And if I was going to run one other race in the U.S., I've done Boston so many times. I've done Chicago so many times. I've done Seattle.
Have you done Chicago?
Yeah, I think 3 times.
Oh, wow. I've never raced Chicago. I haven't raced any of the majors except Boston. It kind of inspired. I feel like we need to pick a race to train for next year. I had a lot of fun when we raced the 50K together.
You have to come here and set up the phone and just let it run by itself. Come here for 5 seconds on our way by.
No, that's when we bring Morgan and Holly, who you guys really want to see, and then we bring them out and they run all the coverage for us.
All right, Martine Hagerdorn, 54185. Let me add him in.
Yes, the NYPD is coming through, getting all of these guys back behind the blue tapes. You guys can see again, finally. Here we go. More runners. Go, front runners, go. I see a guy running with a GoPro camera trying to capture that race from the inside look. That's always a neat way to look at the race.
54185. Martine is actually still at mile 12 or so it'll be a while before he comes by.
Oh, and we should see our friend Flores run through at some point because he is tracking a runner who's running about, I think, a 4-hour pace. I'm not sure.
Is that right? Let's see.
So many stories of this race. Some athletes running their marathon for the first time. Some are streakers who have done 10, 15, 20 marathons in a row, believe it or not. Some are raising money for an important charity or cause that's very personal for them. Some have won a lottery. We talked to athletes yesterday who had put their name in the lottery for the New York City Marathon 8 years in a row, and they kept not getting it, and they finally got it. So you better believe when you have year after year tried to get into this race, when you finally get into it, it really is something so important and meaningful.
Okay, so Flores is still at mile 16, so it'll be a little while before he comes by. He's tracking somebody who's at a 4-hour pace.
And they're doing a cool project with Strava where they're profiling a few runners in their training and their racing. Who's the guy who's doing the video?
Oh, Bill Yang.
Billy Yang is an incredible run director and videographer, and if you haven't checked out any of Billy Yang's stuff on YouTube, you definitely should. It's really amazing stuff.
So we're coming up on 2 hours, which is usually where we start to wind up. Although I'm super happy we have, let's see how many people we have live right now. We have 1,800 people that are still alive with us. It'd be sad for us to leave right now. Maybe it's possible I could go grab some food and come back.
Where are we at? How many How many likes, Craig?
Like, so that's the important stat. 1 second.
We want to get up to 1,000. I think we should be able to do that. We're at 612.
600 likes, guys. 600 likes. We need to get that up to 1,000. So if you haven't liked our video yet, for all the 1,800 people watching, it takes nothing. Just tap the button. And of course, the real way of supporting us is to hit that description and download the link to our mobile app. And if you post in the mobile app, we will comment and give you a shout out.
We'd love to give you a little shout out. Look at the sun's coming out.
The app is called the Run Experience in either of the stores, although the updated app is in the iOS store, and we will have the new Android app out in about a month and a half.
Here we go. We got athletes trying. Runners trying to run across without running.
Playing Frogger with the runners here.
It's amazing, like when you're running and you're this late in the race and you're just tired, like you can't change directions quickly. You can't stop or start quickly. You're just doing everything you can to just keep going one step in front of the other and just keep moving. It is just so hard.
Alexia Griffin just posted in our mobile app saying, watching from Pensacola, Florida. I bet it's warmer down there than it is here.
Yeah, I hope so. But again, perfect, absolutely perfect temperatures to run a marathon. Crisp, cool, absolutely lovely to be running. These guys will cool off quickly after the race, so they're going to want to put those blankets on and get into some warm clothes real quick. A little chilly for us spectators. A lot better when we got that coffee. Thank you again for making that happen. But absolutely picture-perfect conditions for running, especially this time of year. It's the East Coast. You could have wind, you could have rain, you could have snow. You could really have anything this time of year. You've run this year in some pretty bad weather, haven't you?
The last time I was running the New York Marathon, it wasn't quite as cold as this, but it had rained the night before, and we had to wait in this soggy, kind of playground area for 3 hours, and it was still raining in the morning. So it was pretty. It cleared up toward the end of the day, but it was not as nice as it is today, for sure.
Of course, there's nothing like the 2018 Boston Marathon, that infamous race of nasty, dark, cold weather, so challenging and hard. I was just freezing, just trying to watch the race and spectate and commentate on it just for even a few minutes at a time.
Brian Bachalski is watching from St. Bart's Caribbean. Olivia Sampson says, "Don't leave us yet." Yeah, how is the coffee, guys? The coffee is fantastic. Thank you, Oyvind.
Yeah, that just gave me a little extra bounce in my step. I so appreciate that. People are holding balloons. They've got signs out. I saw signs, "Sweat is sexy," which is great. More and more runners coming through. I see some American flag shorts. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
What's your favorite outfit you've seen so far, Craig?
I like the guy with the chief moat with the huge feather peacock hat. Oh, this is a 3:30 crowd coming by.
So here's another 3:30 group. We saw one, I feel like, go by 10 or 15 minutes ago, but I think it's just different crowds.
Different waves, yeah. Different waves have different. So I mean, we can't really tell exactly what pace everybody's running at here because of different waves. But there are some people here that are running 3:30, which is still a very quick marathon.
I feel like I would just have a lot of pressure and responsibility being a pacer. We got to run with a guy who is part of the Paths Project crew, Artie, and he said he has...
This guy has a I hate running shirt on. I love the I hate running shirt. It's hilarious. There we go.
Oh, it is so special when family and friends see their people they go through. That's such a fun thing.
Go Natalie Bid 220359. What is Natalie wearing?
I love the Wadi ink top. I love all the different, runners like to make fashion statements. They always like to wear the different stuff. It's kind of cool just to see what you guys all put on and what you guys all wear. There's a Speedo and a bow tie. That's something for sure. More athletes coming through, looking good. Go, Jim, go. He doesn't know me.
All right, so we have Dean Carnazes is about less than a mile away, and then Mireya, which is the lady who we got the picture of what she's wearing, so we should be able to find her.
Fantastic. So, wow, that is cool. That guy's done 12 New York City marathons, and the front of the shirt says, "This is my marathon shirt," and in the back, it has like the slashes, and he's got like 10 and then 2 more. So you might be running his 13th marathon right now.
Dean Murphy, mile 21.81 from Jamaica, black top with Jamaica on. Pauline from Jamaica, so we'll look for that.
We'll keep a look. All these athletes come through somewhere between the 3.5 and 4 hour mark. Again, we're getting a mix of people who are running and surging strong, other people are having to stop and walk a little bit. It is always such a challenge. We are at that mile 22. And guys, most people here running have never run this distance in their life. They've run 18 miles, they've run 20 miles, 30 kilometers for our international counterparts, but they've never gone beyond that. And that's what makes the marathon so magical. They go into that unknown and they really figure out what they're made of. And I think that's what makes the marathon such a mental thing and such a hard thing. How much pain can you withstand?
Yeah, and we have, let's see, so we have so many runners that I kind of look at the different age groups going by. Now you'll really see a lot of differences in terms of running form. And you'll notice like how variant the running form is with these pace runners versus if you go rewind to the elites or even the sub-elites, and how similar their running form is to each other. And you start to kind of see the variances just in terms of people's shape and how much attention they put toward it. One of the things that we focus on in our training, which you'll find in our mobile app, is a lot around running technique and form.
And one of the dirty secrets with run form is that the way you run is an extension of how you move and how you spend a lot of your day moving around. So if you're someone who is stuck in a chair, sitting a lot, and you're just a little slumped over all the time, that's going to show up in your running, whether you realize it or not. So we have to pay attention to that and do a lot of work to open up our hips, open up our shoulders, open up our back and our spine, and really create that range of motion for us. And then if we can add a little strength to that, all of a sudden running form doesn't have to be this crazy foreign concept. It just starts to connect and happen so much more naturally just because we're moving better. I'm hearing chants of athletes as they go through.
Amy Keller just posted it in our mobile app. Watching from Ireland, love the streams. Thank you. She's done 2 marathons. Wanted to do Dublin last week, but couldn't, and is enjoying the stream. So thanks, Amy. Appreciate you downloading the app, giving us a review. Greg Higgins says, watching from San Diego. Fantastic. Simon says, watching from Mount Pleasanton, Michigan. Amazing, guys.
I got some great signs across the way. I've got one person saying, beer in 3 miles, you got this. Sweat is sexy, keep running. And great job, random stranger, you're almost there. Those are pretty good. More and more athletes are just streaming through, guys. It's just going to be like this for hours. Like people are going to be out here on this course until 4 in the afternoon. It's 1 p.m. and change right now, but you better believe the next 3 or 4 hours, people are just going to be out here continuing to run, continuing to finish, and just getting all the way through from the start to the finish. Doesn't matter how fast you go, everyone has this shared journey, and I think that's what makes running such an incredible sport.
At which point are we saying, oh, we are at 22 and a half, mile 22 and a half at 109th Street and 5th Avenue. Eric is in light blue Under Armour top with Dia Badass on it, 22.344. Boy, it's a lot of things to remember. Eric in a light blue Under Armour top.
Oh, that was so fun. So you just saw that big group cheering on the side. They found their person, and there was like 20 people jumping up and down with signs. Like, as a runner, if you see any familiar face, especially at this point, like, it's just emotional. Like, it feels so good that they're out there for you.
Is that guy Eric? Nope, that's not Eric. I love looking for people in that with their names and numbers. It's such a challenge because you don't see their numbers and you don't see any identifying marks till they're right here.
Again, if you guys are just joining us, we are on the northeast corner of Central Park. We're mile 22 and a half of the New York City Marathon. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. We've seen the top women go through, the top men go through, and we've seen all of humanity come through on this race. This stream is brought to you by us. The best way that you can support us and keep streams like this happening and videos like this happening on our channel is to download our new training app in our link in the link of in the description. There'll be a link where you can go there. And the second way to do it is just to like this video. Helps other runners find it. Other runners find our channel, and we together can make a bigger impact. Our goal is to get you out here on this race course. What a day. Again, these guys have just been training for months by themselves, before work, after work. They're dealing with their family. They're dealing with just everyday life stressors. And when they're most tired, they got to get out and train anyway. And they get this day to really celebrate all the hard work.
Ace is coming by. He wrote the book Ultra Marathon Man and really started to popularize ultra running. He's a friend. We've actually done some events with him in the past. Let's see if we can find him. He's got a very specific running form.
He really does. Let's see if we can, Dean, go through. That'd be super fun to see him. You know, New York has so many people run it. You'll have celebrities run it. You'll have actors run it, actresses run it.
All right, we should be right here.
We should hopefully be seeing Dean come through soon. We're going to try to look for him. If you haven't read Ultra Marathon Man, it is really fantastic. Dean was
There's so many people coming by. It's hard to.
Go, Dean, go! Looking good! Go, Dean! All right, buddy! There we go. We got a little head shake from Dean. Caught him as he went through. Looking pretty steady. That guy is just a machine. More and more athletes coming through.
Yes, we are streaming at mile 22, or 22 and a half to be specific. And we haven't caught some of these people, but hopefully you guys have seen your runners go by. I'm going to try to find this woman, Maria. She should be right here. Since we know what she's wearing, so that's the easiest. Look, we're looking for this. Nate, we're looking for this. Orange 21411.
21411. We're looking for that for sure.
Left-hand side.
Listen to this crowd chant up here. You guys may not be able to hear it, but we can see this whole crowd up here. They're looking for their people.
Right.
Here we go, looking good.
All right, let's see if we can find.
We got the NYPD runners out here. We got the French flag flying out here. Nice work. Really, just again, the marathon, all ages, all experience levels, all shapes, all sizes.
Right here. 214. Good job, Maria! Good job, Maria!
All right, yeah, that totally worked. She totally waved and said hi. Well, job well done. If you download the app, we will give you a little shout out.
Download the app. Deanna put the picture of whatever she was wearing, and so we were able to get her number and what she was wearing, which made it easy to find her. Of course, she doesn't know who we are, so that was interesting.
It's all right. You'll take support from anyone out here, especially as things get a little rough. Good job. More and more athletes coming through here. Guys, drop your questions in the comments, things you are curious about with this whole marathon thing. We've talked about pacing and
Jay from Jay Bird, maybe. get food. I know we need to get food if we're going to stay out here. We are at 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is maybe the longest time we've ever streamed.
You know, it's fun to see what different runners do in these races. You see some people who just have their head down, they're going for it. I see some athletes who are stopping to high five and hug people along the way. Others are definitely working the crowd. I saw a guy with a GoPro helmet just trying to cheer runners on, bring a little bit of energy, and just smiling and having a great time, which, you know what? It is your marathon, it is your race. You do what you need to do to make it a good day. Look at all these athletes coming through. Craig, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm a little cold. I'm a little hungry.
Yeah, both things are happening. We've been going strong for 2 hours and however many minutes. We're seeing another pace group of 340 come through. This is a 340 pace group.
Guys, we are at 845 likes. We're trying to get to 1,000 likes. So keep us out here and support us. And of course, if you've liked us, that means you can click one more button and download our app. It's the best way to support us. And you, of course, that is for you. You know, we have running training in there. We have a community in there. You can post a comment like so many people are doing. We're giving you shout outs. And what we'd love is to have you download our app and give us a review in the App Store. A good review would be really the best way to support us. Thank you so much.
And there are some great free workouts and programs that you can get started with immediately, sharing some of our favorite workouts and exercises. One of my secrets to make runners better is just the 5 to 10 minutes of things you can do every day, you know, starting with just a simple daily practice around mobility and strength that just all of a sudden makes a big difference. Most athletes are really blown away by just adding that little bit in, how things start to change. Here we go, more NYPD coming through. Nice job. Athletes are fist bumping. They're trying to support each other as they go through. There's a lot of encouragement. Again, if you're having a rough day, so one of the best things you can do is just to smile, cheer on someone else, and just by giving that little external focus, that's such a big help. In fact, when Des Linden won the Boston Marathon, early on in the race, she was struggling so much with the weather, she wanted to drop out. And she went to Shalane Flanagan, who was racing. She said, hey, Shalane, what do you need? I'm not going to make it. Can I pace you? Can I support you? Can I do whatever? And just by doing that, it helped Shalane a little bit, but I actually think it helped Des. And then finally, when she got to 18 or 20, she realized that so many people had dropped out. She's like, this is my time. I'm going for it. And she took away the win, which is such a great deal when you have especially American women doing so well.
Should we, I was just thinking, should we run a little giveaway?
What do you want to do, Craig?
I don't know. What should we do, guys? We have Nate's wearing a little beanie hat. I don't know if we have any more of those. We have we have the new running cap that's coming out.
We new hats and socks. Here, I can show you guys what the hat looks like.
Let's do it. Guys, why don't we run a little giveaway where we will choose somebody who has downloaded our app and commented and given us a if you comment in the app and give us a review on the App Store, we will choose one person to get a free Run Experience running hat. We'll mail it to you. You can almost see it. Just back up a little bit. There you go. This has not even come out yet. We just got this sample there you go. We just got the sample on Friday, and we are going to be shipping them out and selling them starting, I guess, in about a week and a half.
We've been working with Path for the last 6-9 months on this thing. I got this hat 6 months ago. I've beat the snot out of it. It is my favorite hat. We have a limited exclusive run, and we're going to be selling them soon. But yeah, let's give away a hat. I would love to do that.
All right.
So Craig, how do they get a hat?
So if you want to enter our giveaway for the hat, just click the link in the description to download our app and give us a review in the store, and then just post in the community. This is for people who have an iPhone, because if you download the app in the Android store, when we give you when the new version, the Android version comes out, you'll automatically get it. But yeah, if you have an iOS and you want to download our app and give us a review in the store and comment, we will choose somebody who's done. There we go. We got people behind us cheering, but we will give you a we'll send one of you a free Run Experience Path Projects hat.
That is right. We're having a good day, guys, in New York. We got coffee. If you missed this, I was semi-joking. It's like, hey, if someone wants to stop by, hang out, or drop by and give me a cup of coffee. And someone actually came and brought me a cup of coffee, and it was like piping hot. So they just got it fresh. I can't tell you how awesome and rad that was. So cool. We can hear runners. We can hear people chanting, supporting each other. This is just the life of the city right now. 50,000 people running through the streets of New York City. Woo! These guys are mile, so great, huh? These guys are mile 22, 23 in.
So cool. That's the second one of their friends that they've seen. That's pretty awesome. And we have John Round. Says he's enjoying our stream and is now entered for the hat. All you guys are reading out, you're entered, and we will pick a winner and then email you to get your shipping address. So Caroline Valentino says, just download the app. My brother Nick Valentino is on 22 now, bib 11708. Let's see if we can find him. Wearing a royal blue long sleeve and bright yellow running jersey. Okay.
All right, we're gonna look for that because we're between 22 and 23 miles. Here we go. We got Sweden being represented right here. She's got some determination.
All right, Nick Valentino from the U.S. 24. Nick Valentino. Let's see if we can find him. Where is he on the map?
Yeah, the New York City Marathon app is super helpful for tracking athletes. You can see where they are on the course.
Valentino, he's not too far. He's just at about mile 22, so we'll look for him. What is he wearing now? And Caroline, thank you for posting the app. He is wearing a royal blue long sleeve and bright yellow running jersey. Okay, I think we can find that.
Royal blue long sleeve and bright yellow running jersey. This is a great outfit right here. Looking good.
All right. My uncle is at 22 right now. I'm from Costa Rica, 23271. He's wearing a Costa Rican flag uniform, 23271. Let me try to add that one.
We got Italia being represented, just all corners of the globe who are running. Oh, so fun. It always is so fun when people find their people and cheer each other on. One of my first marathons, I was so excited to see my parents, and I missed them. I came through faster.
We got 3 people that we're tracking that are coming up. Okay.
We're going to definitely stick around for them. And then Craig. It might be time.
He's like, I'm freezing.
I'm a little frigid and cold, guys. My hand wants to do this right now.
All right, but we need more people to enter our contest since we just announced it. We're gonna give away a Run Experience running hat. It's not even out yet. Coming out next week. Download the app and give us a review in the store. Comment in the app, and we'll enter you, and we're gonna pick one of you and ship it to you.
Yeah, that's right, guys. This is like our best hat. These will be available to purchase as well. But we have a limited run with them, with us partnership with Path.
You put the warm beanie on instead of the hat that we're giving away.
I know, it's chilly.
Here, where is it? I'll wear it. I don't have one on.
More athletes running, walking, crawling.
Okay, we have a couple people. Liviz Jack is from the U.S.
Billy says, I enjoy watching your videos. Thanks for downloading and commenting in the app.
Leslie Vincent says, looking for Paul Yaden, 37151. Blue singlet, super tall dude. He's my training buddy all the way from Australia. Okay, let's try to give that up. 37151. Let me try to put that in.
That's awesome. Let's go, guys, go. Nice job. We see people running together, wearing the same uniforms.
All right, added Paul Hayden.
Paul Hayden, we'll see where he's at, guys. These comments keep streaming in on the app. So cool.
Where is Paul?
They look like they're maybe a mile or two away, 10, 15 minutes down. Woo! Guys, if you're just joining us, we've been streaming for about 2.5 hours now. Standing here.
Paul Hayden is still at mile 15 and a half, so he's got a little ways to go. You know what we should do is we should wait until Flores goes by, and then we can call
Where is he at?
He's at 18.
Okay.
We're at 4 miles, another 20 minutes or so. No, he's not running 5-minute miles. Never mind. Oh boy, I don't know how much longer we're gonna last, guys.
Yeah. I know. I would love to see him there. We're seeing the 8:57, one of the 4-minute pacer groups go through. See all these signs here. These guys are all trying to get under that 4-hour marathon pace. That is the goal. As they come through.
Okay, I gotta go see what Livis Jacques is wearing because I forget.
Here we go. What do we got for comments, Craig?
All right. Hold on.
We got another wheelchair coming through. More runners. The NYPD is just walking down the side because all the crowd keeps trying to push in a little further so they can see the race. And what happens is it just narrows the road for all the runners. So they're trying to clear the enthusiastic audience back to give these runners the room they need to get down the road.
Okay, so I think my uncle is on 22. I think that's what that must be Livis, and he's wearing a Costa Rican uniform. Okay, gotcha. A Costa Rican uniform.
More and more coming through, guys. Every age, every stripe of experience. People who are athletes, maybe people who don't necessarily find themselves athletes or consider themselves runners, but have signed up, they've committed, they've trained, they've put themselves out here, and they're just having this great, incredible day. And it's painful. It's sometimes what they call type 2 fun. It's not fun in the moment all the time, but it's fun after the fact. They went through and they're like, man, I'm really glad that I reached my limits at mile 20, 22. I tested myself. I kept going, and I got all the way to the finish.
All right, we got some more comments here. Yvonne says, hello, I'm watching, don't know what to say. Brian says, I discovered the run experience today, found it on YouTube. We broadcast races, as often as we're at races. Jim Courtney says, following you guys for an hour and a half on a treadmill run. Hey, man, if you are working out right now, amazing. Well done.
Who else is running on treadmills right now while they're watching this? I'd love to see that.
Danielle Wood says, my dad is at 18, and he's shirtless. That's actually easier to find. All right. We'll return to that one. It's actually easier for us to find if you comment in our app, because then I can scroll back to it very easily. Oh, wait, somebody's got a picture. Hold on. Shout out Christy from London, 50 and first marathon and 20 years old, running for a charity. All right.
Good job for her.
Let me see. Which one is she?
All these incredible athletes. I see a French flag waving in the corner. American flag.
We're looking for Costa Rican.
Looking for Costa Rican flag. I see an Italia jersey. France, Run NYC. New York really is such an international race. It's so cool.
Hey, Costa Rica! I don't know if that was Costa Rican, but I think that was him.
All right, we got another runner tracked and found.
Let's see. Somebody I think this is the Paul, I think is in a tall. I'm forgetting who's who. Hold on 1 second. Nick Valentino. All right, Nick Valentino is coming up.
We're watching these guys come through, trying to watch everyone. It's so fun, again, seeing people run by, find their friends and family members. I see people holding signs, looking for their people. Some people are focused and happy. They know they're at the end of the race.
All right, November Project.
Some people right now aren't looking so happy. They've had a hard day, but hey, you know what? You only have 3-4 miles left from here. You just gotta push through.
I see a lot of people with the Aftershocks headphones on, actually.
Yeah, they're great. Hey, can you hold this for a second?
My hands are. Nate is going to be indisposed for a moment. All right, watching for Paul and Layla raising money for ALS. Oh, that's awesome. Nick Valentino, whoever's friend he was, if you can post here in the YouTube comments and remind me what he's wearing. I think he was wearing a yellow with blue or something. Oh.
I was trying to find a place to take a little nature break, but I don't want to get arrested in Central Park.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I think this is...
Here we go.
Is that him? No, it's not him.
Oh, it does say Flores, though.
Where?
I just saw that, but I don't think that's Flores. More and more athletes coming through. Where are we at? Where are we at with our...
Okay, so Nick Valentino's coming by. Let's see if we can find Nick. I'm pretty sure this person was wearing a blue and yellow.
We can see some athletes are starting to get a little cold. I think the temperature it's a little cloudy right now, so it's definitely not warming up. This is about as warm as it's going to get today. Some of you guys were asking. It is upper 40s, low 50s, kind of windy. This is one of those days that if you're slowing down and starting to cool off, you can definitely start to get a little chilly. So some of these athletes, they got up hours before the start of this race. They had to get all the way out to the starting line. They had to sit around and shiver. The race finally started. They're out here like this is just a long, long day for these guys. My hope is that they can get into warm clothes really quickly at the end of this race.
I'm not seeing Nick.
More and more people coming through, looking strong. What do we got?
Guys.
What do we got on the YouTube comments? What's going on?
What is the temperature in SF? We have no idea because we're in New York and it's freezing here. Jason Pommel is the official top of 27,697, I think. Guys, let us know if you find your friends as they're passing by because you're seeing what we're seeing.
That's right. We see a guy in a suit,
All right, what is this?
motorcycle, catching a little bit of video and running. I think some guys just catching parts of the race. Looking good. Hey guys, this is just endless. There has not been a break in the footage or the runners coming through. It is just stream upon stream of people.
We've been out here for a solid 2.5 hours, guys, so we are going to be winding up soon. Nate and I are cold and hungry.
What say you we pick our Earn Your Mouse Hat winner?
We're going to pick it live?
What do you think? Should we pick it live or do we want to wait? Give people more time to download and do it that way.
That's true. Why don't we wait that way because people can still download the app and comment. And if they leave if they're watching the stream, if you guys are watching the stream afterwards, you can still do it and we can enter the app. Yeah.
I'm just making sure. So guys, we just decided to do a little fun giveaway. Our partnership with Path Projects. This very, very cool hat will be coming out like next week or two and available for purchase. If you download our app and leave a comment down there, you will enter yourself a chance to win one of these things. We will reach out to you, email you to get your address and send one of these. So go ahead and do that if you're interested in getting a sweet hat. More athletes coming through. Looking good. Nice job. Some people are grimacing a little bit. Mile 22 will make you grimace, guys. It really will. Achilles Foundation, we got a hand crank bicycle. Incredible. Where are we at, Craig? Looking good. People are supporting each other.
Jig. If you want to stay warm, you got to keep busy. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's funny.
Seriously, right?
A lot of you guys looking for your friends out here. That is
I know.
Just again, we are at 5th Avenue and 109th Street. If you want to see on your map, We are just crowds of people coming by. We haven't seen a pacer for a while. I'm guessing we're closer to 4 hours right now.
I've seen one or two groups of 4-hour pacers go by through. Still incredible seeing all these athletes.
Yeah, it is. The sun is kind of ducked behind the clouds right now, so it's getting a little cooler out here, which we are definitely feeling. Yeah. You want me to hold this? Yeah. Okay. Jogging place to keep warm, Nate and Craig. Yeah, definitely. We are. We've done our own marathon here at 2.5 hours.
What would you rather do, run for 2.5 hours or talk for 2.5 hours?
I would definitely this would be better running. I'm much better at running than I am at talking on a live stream for 2.5 hours.
Although you're doing pretty good. We're seeing some headphones come through. Different hats.
Guys, we are at 928 likes. We got to get to 1,000 likes. Hit the like button and see if we can get to 1,000 likes. If you're watching this, we got 1,800 people on here. If everybody taps the like button and then downloads our app, that is the best way to support us.
That would really make our day, even more than just getting that cup of coffee. It's what motivates us to get out here and do these live streams. Woo! Hey, what's up? So fun to connect with runners as they come by, and they can even recognize us here. Yeah, so cool.
Awesome. Oh man, there's nothing better than watching our TRE runners come by. That is amazing.
Where we at? On the liked video.
Oh, let's see it. Hold on. Let's see how many likes we have.
Craig's getting a live sense of where we're at right now. X the stream. There you go.
We are at 965, guys. We need 35 more likes. Who's going to hit our 35 likes?
Let's go ahead and hit 1,000. Guess what? If we get up to 1,000,
we'll stay another 10 minutes. Nate's like, no, we're not going to do that. I really need food. That's the problem. I'm low on food.
All the way here. Watching all these athletes go through is just really incredible. You guys, just the amount of effort and work. We hit 1,000. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much. You know, the amount of logistics and effort it takes to put these events on, all of these aid stations have teams of volunteers who are out here all day. And if you're an aid station at mile 20 or 22, you're out here to the very, very end of the day, supporting runners as they come through. It is just such amount of effort to get everyone from the start to the finish line. Really, really incredible stuff. Craig, do we have any other athletes to track, or are we going to get some delicious ramen again? That sounds really good, right? Something that'd be warm?
Yeah, that would be actually really, really good. I got to see what time my flight leaves.
Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. There we go. We see like a little running community or club right here. People are just so excited to see each other.
She's drinking pickle juice and eating pickles. That's awesome.
Oh, pickle juice. So good. Sometimes that pickle juice can help just kind of
stave off the cramping for just another couple miles.
Exactly, and just kind of get you ready for that next thing. Well, Craig, why don't you come in front so we can sign off and say again how great it's been to be out here.
Where's my hat? Guys, if you're watching the live stream, you can download our app and enter a free giveaway for the hat. You just have to comment in the community. That's the way we know that you entered, are in the community, and then leave a review on the App Store, and we will find somebody who's done both those things and pick a winner for this hat and mail it to you.
Definitely. And guys, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Hopefully this has been an inspiring and motivational thing.
I know you guys, like, we always hate to have to close this out, but I got to make it to my flight. Yeah. and we're gonna have to get something to eat. But thank you guys so much for signing in. I hope you guys enjoyed our coverage this year. This is just such a super exciting time to be. I mean, if you're not a runner right now, hopefully this inspires you to join the running community. This is such an amazing event to be a part of.
That's right. Guys, again, thanks again. We will time off this thing.